Have to feel good about how Jordan loves play.
Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, January 7th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $sign ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Sunday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. Kickoff is going to be in about 20 minutes. Hope everyone had a fantastic day. And last regular season matchup as we're getting into the playoffs. A lot of teams' hearts got broken. A lot of teams squeaked into the playoffs, like my Bucks. I was actually hoping that the Saints would make the playoffs over the Buccaneers so I could get a higher draft pick. But, you know, it is what it is. And shout out to Reflect for winning our fantasy championship, beating me in the championship by a mere 7 points. I tried to make it as close as possible, but, you know, sometimes, you know, you have those 50-50, you know, matchups where you don't really know who you want to start. You know, the lower name player with a green matchup or maybe a higher ranked player that has a red matchup. And sometimes, you know, you live and die based off those players. And you got to give Reflect all the credit where credit needs to be given. So he is our 2024 NWSF Fantasy Football League champion. And I was just talking to him a few minutes ago, and he'll be hopping in the stream here in just a minute. Daredevil in the building. What's good? Erdala in the building. What's good? Finley in the building. What's good? Let's go. Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen on the left. Tua Tagovailoa on the right. Should be a good one. And then obviously we'll be able to go over all of the fantasy breakdowns. Sarah in the building. What's good? Let's go. Man, what a wild. I was figuring I was going to need like 40 points out of James Conner to be able to, come back and win. And, you know, there was a few moves that if I just would have stayed with my original lineup, I would have won the championship. But I guess I can't trust Baker Mayfield. I can't trust Mike Evans. I can't trust any Buccaneer players, even if they got me to this point. I can't trust them, obviously, when we get to the championship, because all you had to do was beat the Saints and beat the Panthers, and you couldn't even find a way to play well in those last 2 weeks. And that cost me the fantasy championship. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, sometimes, you know, you have to go with your gut. And I thought that, you know, okay, you played bad against the Saints. They got to play better against the Panthers. There's no way the Bucs lose to the Panthers, who got shut out last week, and Tepper was throwing the drink at the fan, right? So I was thinking, okay, we might not win by a lot, but we should score at least a few touchdowns, I thought. But apparently not. And the Bucs win, but I don't get enough production out of Baker and Mike Evans, and I lose in the championship, which is heartbreaking for me because I haven't won the championship in like 3-4 years. But, eventually, you know, my year will happen. And we got to give a big shout out to Reflect. He played very, very well. And it's probably the closest person to anyone that I have faced in the 7 years that we've done the Fantasy Football League on the channel. I mean, I made over 150 moves. I think second place in the league made like 60 or less. So I definitely worked the hardest. But it shows you, just because you feel that you're the smartest, you work the hardest, you make the most moves, you know, you make the most transactions, you make your team better. But sometimes it comes down to luck in the last 2 weeks, because it comes down to, are players sitting, you know, they're superstar players or not. And a lot of times when you get to that final week, you know, your team looks like a shell of what it was maybe a few weeks before that. And you got to give Reflect all of the kudos. He won his fantasy championship. Nice. Finley, you won a championship as well. Congratulations, man. There we go. It just sucks because I had, a couple just easy moves, you know, Jets defense over Patriots, which I had all week. And for whatever weird reason, I just thought, okay, Slater's last game, Belichick's last game. It's a snow game. Maybe they'll play a better defense there, but apparently not. And I fucked up there. I fucked up by putting Baker and Mike Evans in instead of Mullins and going with Zamir White. But, you know, I figured, you know, can Baker and Evans play bad 2 games in a row? I didn't think it was possible, but apparently it is. So I only lost by 7. And if James Conner would have got a little bit more points, like if they would have went to overtime against the Seahawks, maybe I would have been able to pull off the victory. But James Conner with a 30, Jefferson with a 36, Amon-Ra with a 28, Laporta getting injured kind of fucked me over, but Baker with a 6, Evans with a 5, Patriots D with a 6, and Kaimi Fairbairn with a 7. You can't shit the bed in 4 out of 9 spots and expect to win the championship. And unfortunately, that's what ended up happening for me. But I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be sad. I'm kind of used to it. I'm always grinding it out, getting a first seed or second seed, and either the ball bounces in your favor and you end up making good decisions, or you end up going against, maybe your gut. And, it kind of teaches you in fantasy that green matchups are so important. You might have a bigger name, in a red matchup that you think that can overcome, and they might be able to overcome in the regular season, maybe earlier in the season, like in September, October. But now I've learned my lesson. I will never draft Patrick Mahomes ever again, and I never, ever will play any Buccaneer players in the championship unless it's Rachaad White. No Baker, no Mike Evans. I'm never going to play them ever again. I learned my lesson. The Bucs ended up making it, to the playoffs, but I'm not sure if we really deserved it. And I don't know if we're even going to be able to, win a playoff game, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Now, if we actually match up against the Eagles, maybe the Bucs might be able to make that one kind of a game. Even though the Eagles have been struggling desperately and whatnot, but definitely the Bucs are nowhere near being a Super Bowl contender. I actually kind of wish that we would have missed the playoffs and the Saints would have went, but coulda, woulda, shoulda, in the fantasy playoffs. But congratulations to Reflect and Finley on getting your dubs, and hopefully I'll be able to get the championship next year. Let's go, baby. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the donos up. We got Josh Allen. We got Tua. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm ready. I decided to use a different background here, a little Miami Dolphin background, looking kind of slick. And we got the Dolphins spinning logo when they got the ball. And then obviously the Buffalo Bills when Josh Allen is rolling. Oh, man. Daniel in the building. What's good? Bucs Eagles next week. I mean, the way that the Eagles have been playing, you would think the Bucs actually would have a chance, but we're fucking terrible, man. Like I said, Baker is hurt. We can't move the football. We can't run. We can't throw. Defense really isn't that good either. So we'll see where it goes. But, oh, man. And I told Reflect I need 40 out of Connor to be able to win. He got 30.4, and I lost by 7. So if I would have gotten to 40 points with Connor, and he would have blown up and got one more touchdown, or if that game would have went to OT, maybe I would have won. But again, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I hate losing in fantasy, but, it is what it is. Let's go, baby. Rams, Lions. Yep, and we got that. We already were talking about that a few weeks ago. Good Morning Football and a lot of other programs were kind of teasing it as well. How cool would it be to get Jared Goff, to go against, obviously the Lions and Rams matchup, to go against your former team. And it's going to be very, very intriguing to see how things line up, with these matchups and whatnot. And there's definitely going to be some upsets. We still feel that the Ravens are the best team in the NFL. Niners are the best team in the NFC. But as we know, it's really who is hot and healthy, not who the best team is, but who is hot and healthy that will come out on top and being the Super Bowl champion. Big facts. Oh, man. I don't know what's worse, losing in the fantasy championship by 7, or if I would have gotten blown out and lost by 27. Because I think the closer that you lose by, the more pain that it is, especially when you look, on your bench. And if you just would have played Mullins over Baker Mayfield, you win. But it's like, I knew, that he was going to throw for 300 or 400 yards, but I figured Baker could at least get me 15 to 16 points. And, I guess the injury was much more significant than, originally, advertised. And, I had the lineup set up, the correct way last night. And then I decided to, go against my gut. And instead of having 8 out of 9 green matchups, I decided to have, what did I have? I had 6 green matchups, 2 red, Baker and Mike Evans, and then 1 neutral with Laporta. When what happens? The 2 red guys play like shit. Laporta gets hurt, and then I lose in the fantasy championship. But, tough. Tough, because I always give it my all. And like I said, if I didn't give a shit, about this channel or about fantasy and showing people what it takes to be able to be a champ, then it wouldn't be a big deal, but it definitely stings a little bit. Let's go, baby. Yeah, nice little run for Jordan Love in the last stretch of the year. 18 touchdowns and 1 pick. Pretty impressive, for the Packers looking dead in the water and then finding a way to be able to get into the playoffs. And obviously you can't lose to the Bears at the very end of the year. And I think it makes it very clear that Chicago will move on from Justin Fields, more than likely get some compensation for him so they don't have to pay him $30-40 million in a few years. They'll have a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract like Caleb Williams, extra capital from, trading away Justin Fields, and then we'll see if they end up drafting O-line, Maserati Marv, or some other pieces there. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see where Justin Fields ends up. I'm not really sure where he'll end up, but there'll definitely be a team that will take him, and if they have a good supporting cast, kind of like the Niners, you might be able to get a little bit more out of Justin Fields on the Bears than if you go to a team like the Niners that has all the pieces in place except for maybe quarterback. So even though they do have Brock Purdy right now. Oh, baby. Let's go. And hopefully we can end up getting some goats to come through and we can hit the goal. Been a little underwhelming in the last, 3 streams. So we definitely need it tonight. All right, baby. Kool-Aid. He's nice. And I got this one on the TV, not through any streaming app, just going through Peacock through NBC. So I got that on the big screen, which is always nice. Volume 80, so my speakers will blow out. And I'm really happy for Reflect, too, because like I said, if I was going to lose to anyone, that would be the only person I would want to lose to. Played really, really well, went heavy running backs. I went heavy wide receivers. And I still ended up, finding a way. But if I just didn't have such a shitty first week last week, I think I would have won. But again, you can't score 311 points, average like 155 in the semis, and then drop down and score like 100, 110, in the first week of the championship, and then have to make up for it in that second week. So, when you have too many red matchups, once you get into the championship round, it really can kill you. And a lot of times, you're not going to know that you're going to have red matchups, once you do your drafting. It just kind of, as you get closer to the end of the year, you start peeking ahead. And I knew exactly when I saw, 8 out of 9 red or 9 out of 9 red, I knew I was in trouble. Because even with my bench pieces, even if you substitute some of those other red pieces out, a majority of your team is not going to have a good matchup. And that's probably going to lead to you having a shit week, and that's what happens. So, and that seems like what it's happened every single year for me in the last 3 or 4 years. I just can't catch a break. I can do good in the semis, but once we get to those final 2 weeks, whoever I got on my roster ends up playing like the best fucking defenses or the best rivalry matchups in the division, and for whatever reason, I can't just get over that hump. But congratulations to Reflect. He's a GOAT. Yeah, the Jags collapse. 8-3, and then just to drop game after game after game after game. Tough. All right, baby. Bills and Dolphins, Sunday Night Football, the last regular season matchup in the NFL regular season is about to start. Let's go, baby. I got the Dolphins spinning logo when they have the football, and then I got the Bills spinning logo when Josh Allen is running it. Predictions for tonight's game. I got Buffalo winning on the road. So, I think both teams have been kind of up and down, but I think Buffalo has been a little bit hotter. Even though they're on the road, usually home teams find a way to get the job done. But I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills on the road, even though they've clinched a playoff spot already. Crazy. And then we got the Natty tomorrow. Michigan and Washington, which we'll be live streaming tomorrow as well. Go Huskies. And I told Reflect, that I would sacrifice my fantasy championship if the Huskies ended up winning it all. So I lost. So hopefully the Huskies end up winning the championship instead of losing the fantasy championship and then Michigan winning. So hopefully we end up getting that double-double and then Reflect. And even though I'm a Duck fan, I want to represent for the Pac-12. We only lost to the Huskies by 3 twice. Total of 6 points. So if they can find a way to win, not only will it be great for the Pac-12 in its last year, it'll be great for the Huskies for them to be able to win a natty that's not co-split. Obviously with the U and Miami in 1991, at that point I was 9 years old. So it'd be very cool if they can get it done. And my favorite player in college football this year has been Michael Penix Jr. And yes, I'm a Ducks fan, but I'm not stupid and I can definitely recognize talent. And, obviously, if they end up beating Michigan, his stock will rise. And then hopefully in the NFL draft, Michael Penix Jr. will fall to the Buccaneers or the Vikings. And then we can end up getting some showtime out of Michael Penix Jr. I got to be able to look at the positives of losing in the fantasy championship again. But I'm not depressed. I'm not mad. I know in years past, I would definitely gotten way more upset or way more depressed. But Reflect did a great job this season, and I have only myself to blame because, like I said, I still had pieces, up to this morning that if I would have played differently, I could have won. So I don't really have anyone to blame other than myself. I don't know what all that jibber jabber is, right there, but see ya later. Jibba jabba, jibba jabba, jabba jibba, jibba jabba. Just a bunch of garbage in the chat. I don't need all that. Well, damn. Why couldn't you guys have got it done, bro? I didn't want this. We're playing like shit at the end of the year. We're injured. We're not playing good. And it's like some shitty team had to end up winning. I really wish it was you guys. You guys started to kind of, end, on a good note. We just kind of scraped by. And I really wish that the Saints would have won the division so that I would have gotten a higher draft pick. And honestly, the way that the Saints were playing, I think that they would have a better chance to win in the playoffs than the Buccaneers. Like if the Saints were going against the Eagles, Saints would have a shot, especially if AK-41 is playing. But if the Buccaneers play the Eagles, I know the Eagles haven't been playing well, but even with that being said, I don't know if the Bucs can beat the Eagles, even though the Eagles have looked very terrible in the last month or so, month and a half. Reflect, the champ is here. Congratulations, man. Like I said, I told you that I would sacrifice my fantasy championship if you were able to win. And, I learned a lot of lessons, and, not being able to trust Buccaneer players and, green matchups matter. And you know that too. But sometimes, it's like you have players on your own team and you figure, oh, they're going against the Panthers. You would think, okay, Baker, even if he plays bad, should get to 15. Mike Evans should be able to get to a minimum of 10 and I'll be good. And you don't really think that they're going to combine for 11 and then you're going to end up losing. But, Jalen Hurts ended up getting injured with that finger, but you still had enough on the bench there. And then also at the very last minute, swapping out Jets for Patriots. If I just would have left it Jets like I had it, 99 99% of the time I would have won. But I didn't deserve it. You deserved it. You played great this year. You went running back heavy. I showed that you can go wide receiver heavy, but again, I had more injuries than you with Mahomes and David Montgomery and Mark Andrews and Jay Jetta, and I still was able to get guys on the wire and compete with you, but I just fell a little bit short. Now, if the Seahawks would have taken that game to overtime, maybe I would have won because James Conner would have got the ball a little bit more. But of course, the Seahawks, knowing that they want you to win the championship, went for 2. They got it, and that kind of ended my chances of being a fantasy champion. But I do appreciate you. $100 dono. Thanks for the season. I think this was probably my favorite fantasy season, though, even though it didn't end up with me winning. But I feel that we brought out the best in each other, and I feel that we kind of showed the rest of the league what it takes to be able to be a champ. And obviously, I'll be supporting the mental health through and through. Congratulations with the fantasy championship. Be proud of this one. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. $100 dono. I appreciate you, brother. Yes, much appreciated. Congrats on that big win. Let me know what you want to do for photos. All right, we hit the initial goal. Thank God we had some people come in here and show some love. Hopefully we can get Cyberpunk or a few others to come in and show some love as well. We've had some underwhelming streams the last 3, so we definitely need to pick that up. Hey, I try. The shitty thing is for me, it's like, okay, I can get rid of Zamir White. I can get rid of the pieces, but it just the fact that Jets, Patriots, I had both, and I picked the wrong one. Mullins and Baker, all I had to do was just play Mullins. All I had to do was just set myself up for Green, and then they would have produced. But I guess my love for the Buccaneers, it did me again. I thought, okay, red matchup. I've seen Baker overcome red. I've seen Mike Evans overcome red. They usually do good against the Panthers. I didn't think they would play that bad, let alone not get a touchdown. But, it is what it is. Reflect earned it 100%. And, and hopefully me losing will lead to the Huskies winning the championship. Because if I win the fantasy championship and then Michigan wins tomorrow, I'm not going to be happy. So I guess if I have to be able to give up the championship, but then we can get the Huskies to win, not only can Reflect, and his family enjoy this championship, right? And you'll be in the league next year with us too, right? And I know a lot of the other people in the league will be like, damn it. But hey, you got to have you want to be the best, you have to play the best and beat the best, and me and Reflect. But if you win the championship, you're happy. If the Huskies win and Michael Penix Jr. wins, we're both happy. If Michigan wins, we're not happy at all. So I'm hoping that will give you a little extra juju, for me not putting Mullins or Zamir White or, Jets defense in. And those simple little mistakes that normally I never make, I did. And hopefully we end up having a celebration tomorrow with the Huskies being the world champions of college football. All right, here we go. Dolphins offense about to start. Let me know what you want to do for photos. And and I do appreciate the mental health. I definitely try to bring out the best in the mental health, and I'm just really proud of the mods and the group that we have. Sometimes, you got to sacrifice people that aren't a fit for the channel. It's not all about views and subs and donos. Of course, some of those things are very, very important, but it's about having the right type of people, when you're building your platform. So thank you to you guys. I love you and I appreciate you very much. Reflect, sports gods, they didn't work in my favor for that. But again, what would I rather have? Honestly, a fantasy championship? Yes, I love fantasy, right? But the Huskies in this very rare opportunity, flag on the play, to be able to win a natty in the final year. I think that most people would say, oh dog, you just want the fantasy championship and you want it more than anyone. Yes, I do because I work harder than anyone to get it, right? But in this specific year, if the Ducks can't have it, I'm rooting for the Huskies super heavy because it's all about the conference, it's all about the Pacific Northwest, and it's all about Michael Penix Jr. So hopefully that my loss will actually lead to us celebrating tomorrow. Sports gods, they got you. I know you probably were very worried when you saw Jalen, go out and whatnot. But again, sometimes having to pick up those guys on the wire that have green matchups, which are like jobber names that normally you wouldn't do, right? But when it comes down to the end of the year, a lot of guys aren't playing. And I don't know if we need to change the rules, where we actually end it a couple weeks prior, like maybe we do 1 week and 1 week and we do it then, because, when you go 2 weeks and then 2 weeks, first 2 weeks are fine, but then the last 2 weeks, a lot of people are sitting. And especially in that last week, I mean, the teams are, a shell of themselves, especially yours. So, and I had too many red matchups last week, and I knew that was going to do me in. Every single year, I usually have red, red, red on both weeks, or red, red, red in 1 week. And I still couldn't get past the red, red, red curse. So, nice tackle by the Bills. A great 2-week playoff. Yeah. Maybe just do 1 week for the semis and then 1 week for the championship. I'll have to go and look at that. But yeah, maybe eliminating week 18. Because I didn't even get to use fucking Mahomes or Flacco or anything. Like, I wasn't banking on using Baker. It ruined everything for me. My whole strategy, my whole everything, when that happened. Like, I already had to suffer the Baker loss and the shitty play against the Saints, and then to have 2 shitty games in a row, and then I make the playoffs. Like, I feel like sick to my stomach. Like, I'd rather win the fantasy championship than the Bucs making the playoffs. But it is what it is. Hopefully next year will do me a little bit more kinder. But I did come back, and at least I didn't lose by 40 or 50. At least I made it close. And I told you, if I could have got 40 with Connor, I was going to win. And he put up 31, and I needed 39 or 40 to win. So my ESP was correct, but I just couldn't get enough out of Connor to make up. But if it would have went to OT, maybe I would have, because it was looking like it. Maybe I was going to be able to get something there, but just wasn't meant to be. You're the champ, baby. 3rd down and 7. Tua going deep. Intercepted. Oh, baby. Buffalo Bills, baby. Wow. Big interception. Let me know what you want to do for photos. You got anything specifically that you want for photos? I got you. You want some Seahawks? You want some Michael Penix Jr.? You let me know what you want. I got you. I appreciate your support. And honestly, I think this has probably been the funnest fantasy year, because normally when I'm playing someone, if there's someone else in the league that's doing well, they're not on the streams. They're just some rando. So to be able to talk with you and Sarah, throughout the year, and to be able to keep up on things. And then as we got further in the year and it was kind of you and me going back and forth, it was nice to be able to kind of go back and forth with banter, lineups, and competition. Because normally when we're in the championship, unless it's like me and Sarah going at it, it's usually a couple other randos, or maybe it's like Chief or Chef, but it's usually people that aren't on the channel all the time. So I think I had probably the most enjoyment this year, just going at it and, being able to try to prove that, you can go running back heavy, but you can also go wide receiver heavy, but you also have to, be lucky and not get hit with a lot of injuries. And I think the injuries really kind of did me in. Obviously Sam Laporta getting injured, that killed it for me also. Just like the Jalen Hurts for you, but having Mark Andrews and having Keenan Allen and having Mahomes, 3 guys that I thought I was going to have access to, that really took me out of it. You know what I mean? But I still had a team good enough to win it all. But, it just would have felt weird winning it all with Nick Mullins. I figured if I'm going to win it all or lose it all, I'm going to do it with Baker and Mike Evans, not with Mullins. But I guess I learned my lesson that fantasy championships can be won by Nick Mullins, and I can't trust Buccaneer players ever again. Sad but true. No more Patrick Mahomes and no more Buccaneer players in the championship. Unless it ends up being Rachaad White, that would be the only one that I would play. But no more Baker, no more Mike. And then now making the playoffs, now I'm stuck with Baker probably for the next 5 years, which is terrible. Michael Penix Jr., I hope you go to the Vikings. Or the Buccaneers. I don't want to have Baker for the rest of my life. but we'll see what happens. Man, I can't wait till tomorrow, baby. All right, Buffalo, show me. I got Buffalo winning tonight. We'll see what they bring. Yeah, but also too, Alan, let's be real, right? The Eagles were the best team for like 10 weeks, for like 2.5 months. Nobody predicted the collapse of the Eagles like that. So, the Cowboys took advantage, you know what I mean? But no one predicted the Eagles being one of the best teams in the NFL to going to playing like one of the worst, in the last 2 months. So, CeeDee Lamb played great, and they played fantastic. But remember, it's not like anyone anticipated the Eagles falling off a cliff. So you definitely took advantage. And we also know with the Cowboys, if you play at home, you can win. But if you're on the road, you're not going to win. So, finishing at, towards the top was going to be essential for you to have a chance to be able to get to the NFC Championship game. So, for one team's misery, you ended up taking advantage, and maybe the Cowboys can make it to the NFC Championship game. We just got to keep it real. Hi, Paisley. I love you. Football is a crazy sport, man. You can feel like you're on the top of the world in the first month or two, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. 3rd down and 1. 1st down, Bills. Move the chains. I mean, all the Buccaneers had to do was beat the Saints, make the playoffs. Couldn't do that at home. All the Bucs had to do was, beat the Panthers and play well. Couldn't do that. With that all being said, could the Bucs beat the Eagles? I don't know. They're both terrible. I don't think either one deserves to be in the playoffs. But I guess when you start off the year 10-1, what can you do, right? But I told all those Eagle fans, too much of that jibber jabber, too much of that TikTok, too much of that shit talking, that shit, it definitely, the karma is real. Sports gods see that shit and they slapped you right in the mouth. And, Eagle fans have no one else to blame. Everything's going downhill. Shows you how hard it is to make a Super Bowl, right? And how hard it is to go back to the Super Bowl when you lose or when you win. We're not getting the Chiefs and the Eagles. So, looks like it's going to be Ravens-Niners, but it wouldn't shock me if it ends up not being Ravens-Niners. We'll find out. Yeah, it's been back and forth. I think there was a year where one team won it 2 years in a row, but it's almost a different year, a different team. Nice catch. 1st down, Dalton Kincaid. Move the chains. Fantasy football champion, reflect, my guy. But at least I didn't lose by 17, 27, 37, or 47. I was down by 42 plus, and I only ended up losing by 7. So I would say that's a pretty good comeback. But again, if I didn't shit the bed so bad in the first week of the playoffs, then we would have been even closer, or maybe a different outcome. But it shows how important it is to be solid in every week in the playoffs. You can't be good 3 weeks out of 4. You have to be good 4 out of 4 weeks. 1st down, Bills. Yeah, see, your boy remembers. I got a pretty good memory, bro. I go through the stats. I read a lot. I watch a lot of film. But there you go, 0405. I'm a nerd like that. I always like reading and, going through all the stats. And anytime they bring up stuff on the screen, I usually try to have a photographic memory to remember all those key things that come up. Shotgun set, 1st down and 10. Allen, pump fake, run. There we go. Little dump down to James Cook, who's been a nice addition for the Buffalo Bills. Probably the best running back that they've had on the roster since Thurman Thomas. They've had other guys, here and there, but no one really that I felt confident in. Singletary and all these other guys that they've had, Moss, like they were all kind of RB2s. And I feel that this is the first time where you actually have a guy that you could say, you know what? James Cook is an RB1, and obviously the Buffalo Bills are, having, I wouldn't say more success because they have a 10-6 record, which they could be 11-6. But I mean, if the defense was better, O-line was better, and they didn't have those injuries to Milano and Tre'Davious White, maybe the Bills end up winning like 13 games. But again, it shows you how important the Buffalo Bill running back situation is, and also getting rid of someone, and being able to bring in someone else like a Joe Brady. That was huge too. Sorry, Ken Dorsey, but you weren't giving Cook the ball enough, and they were suffering. And now you see with Brady, he's given Cook the ball a lot, and it turned the team around. Look at Josh Allen, baby. First down, Bills. I had a feeling that it was going to come down to kind of the nitty gritty. I had a feeling you were going to win, but I remember I told you, I said, Connor needs 40, and you probably thought I was joking, but I actually did think that there was a chance for him to hit 30 or 40, and that's what I would need. I did not know that Baker and Mike Evans and Kaimi Fairbairn and the Patriot D were all going to shit the bed. I don't deserve to win the championship when 4 guys out of 9 spots shit the bed. I don't deserve it. I wouldn't feel good about it, If you have 1 or 2 shit the bed, fine, but not 4 out of 9. That's just way too many. You don't deserve it, And no one deserves to win a championship when you have that many shit the bed. It just, ask anybody. It doesn't feel right. Second down and goal, but at least I made it. At least something towards the end. So. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Cowboy fans have suffered for a long, long time, and now it finally feels that, with the Eagles not being as good, the Niners are good, but the Eagles, not the same team as they were last year, and with the Cowboys, it feels like, they're the second best team in the NFC, maybe even better than the Detroit Lions. So, and they have a better, offense and defense too. But again, if the Cowboys play on the road, they're in trouble. But if they can stay at home for a majority of the playoffs, they do have a chance to make the NFC Championship game and possibly to upset the Niners and go to the Super Bowl. It is possible, because you got to think right now, who are the best teams in the NFC? The Niners, the Cowboys, and the Lions. And the Lions don't really have a defense. So unless something dramatically changes with the Lions D, I don't see them making it unless the Cowboys and the Niners knock each other off. Floater, intercepted. Wow, interception by Tua, interception by Allen. Oh, my. I didn't anticipate that. Well, if you guys didn't go for 2 right there and screw me, with Seattle, but obviously knowing that you guys already were eliminated from the playoffs, I guess if you guys weren't eliminated from the playoffs, it would have just been the extra point, but since you guys already found out, they said, fuck it, let's just go for 2. But if it would have been a regular scenario, go for 1, go to OT, maybe Connor ends up getting a touchdown or enough yards to make it close. But, who knows? Maybe I would have gotten, 6 yards instead of 7, and you still would have won. And they rush with Connor, but then they get into field goal range and he doesn't get the touchdown. So the fantasy championship stings, but again, I will be happy if the Huskies win tomorrow, and then the stinging will go away, because like I said, it's not like I've won the championship last year and then the year before and the year before, and I've won 3 years in a row and then I lost this one. It's like the same thing has happened to me 4 years in a row. So I guess I'm kind of used to it. I'm a little numb to it. I thought that this might be the year that I could break the curse, but apparently not. And hopefully next year I will. And that's the thing. I don't know if the Cowboys can beat the Niners on the road. I mean, if they do, it'll be the first time that they've played someone that's elite, this deep into the playoffs where they actually won. It's like the Cowboys haven't, been this good, since what, 95? So it's been a long, long time, but I am actually rooting for you. A lot of people hate on the Cowboys and they hate on the Patriots, obviously with Belichick and the cheating, but he might be gone. Belichick might be gone. Harbaugh might be going to the Chargers or somewhere. We don't know. So, and also with that, with Harbaugh potentially leaving, maybe that'll be more motivation for Washington to win, because Michigan knows that their coach is dipping, so maybe there'll be a little they know they can win it for themselves and the legacy. But if you know your coach is leaving, can you really get motivated for the Natty, knowing that, maybe your coach is not going to be there next year unless he, is not going to take an NFL job? But definitely distractions on the Michigan side favors the Huskies to be able to win it all. I'm proud that Reflect won, man. Fucking electric.
Great day, just like this father and son. JJ's gotta have his Little Caesars. Try stuffed crazy crust for only $9.49. Pizza. Take a breath of fresh air with the Stanley Steamer Air Duct Cleaning. We clean over 10.
Get some photos up here for Reflect.
Our specialized trucks.
The best player tomorrow is going to be Michael Penix Jr. The best player that was in the semis was Michael Penix Jr. So even if he doesn't go number 1 overall and they want to go Caleb Williams, fine. But if they can end up winning the championship, he can be the MVP, whatever the scenario needs to be, and then he'll probably go a little bit higher on draft boards as well. But hopefully he ends up falling to the Bucs or the Vikings, and we can see Michael Penix Jr. playing in the NFC as the NFC's Tua next year and beyond. That's what I'm really hoping for. What a stud. All right, Miami back in their end zone. Still knotted up at 0. Yeah. But also, too, the Cowboys are the most different home and away. So if they're at home, we already know that they can beat someone by 10, 20, 30 points, 40 points, and we've seen it. But when they go on the road, they're not the same team. They're such a Jekyll and Hyde. It's like, you can go from scoring 40 points at home, CeeDee Lamb going for 185 and 2 touchdowns, and then you going on the road and the Cowboys putting up 10, looking like one of the worst 10 teams in the NFL. So there is no in-between where the Cowboys score like 24. It's either 40 or 50, or they end up putting like 10 or 13 up. It's like if they play a good opponent on the road. So, maybe this will be the year that they can prove, that they can get it done on the road and change the narrative of the Dallas Cowboys, not only for this year, but maybe the narrative of the Dallas Cowboys moving forward. Flag on the play. Can't be more of a bust than Justin Fields. I'm not the biggest Caleb supporter or anything like that, but I would assume Caleb would do better than Justin Fields, just based off his talent and his mechanics. Then you can get a rookie contract. You don't have to pay Fields 30 or 40 million pretty soon. You'll get compensation for him on top of that, and then you can draft O-line, wide receiver, D-line, linebacker. You can go and build around that and start over. If it wasn't going to be these big 30, 40 million, because you got to think, if you got 30, 40 million you're paying to Justin Fields, that could be a couple offensive linemen and a wide receiver, or a couple offensive linemen and a DN in free agency. So, you have to be able to look at team, not me. And the real question is, do you think that Justin Fields, nice, first down, Dolphins, do you think Justin Fields can win a Super Bowl? And the answer is no, hell no. So if that is the question and that is the answer, then you move on from Justin Fields. So. Yeah, Finley and Reflect winning fantasy championships, baby. I love it. First down and 10, 0-0, Bills and Dolphins. Let's go, baby. How much did you win your fantasy championship by, Finley? And how many people were in your league? Tyreek, the free kill, first down, Dolphins. Move the chains. Sidney Brown with a torn ACL. First down and 10. H-Chan, baby. You know what also really worked out for you, Reflect, and you were kind of bitching about it earlier in the season, is having shitty New York running backs. But the fact that you had shitty New York running backs and Breece Hall and Saquon Barkley at the end of the year, they weren't going to be in the playoffs, so you knew you were going to be able to use them. That ended up actually helping you win a championship, because if you didn't end up having Breece Hall and Saquon, even though there were some games earlier in the year where they did bad, right? But they ended up winning you a championship. You were able to use them, and they were able to give you enough when it counted. And sometimes that's what it's about. And having the Kyron Williams, having the Breece Hall, having the Saquon Barkley, even though you didn't get to use Mostert or Jalen Waddle, in this game, but, running backs are important. And if you can have running backs that can run and catch, and they can end up putting up results at the end of the year, that can lead you to a championship. And that was awesome, that you ended up having those. I know for a while, you were like, damn it, these goddamn New York running backs. And Breece Hall was more consistent than Saquon, but Saquon came up big for you today and helped you get the chip. And the Giants came up big, going up against an Eagle team that it was an absolute disaster. So you never know. And like I said, I had Saquon last year when I had Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, and Saquon, and I had 3 of the top 4 running backs in the league. I went 13-1, but I didn't win the championship. But again, having, those, if Saquon is healthy, he's definitely one of those guys that can, take you a little bit further. I like Breece Hall better than Saquon, but again, if you have both and they both hit, you're probably doing pretty well. Tua down the sideline to Tyreek. Oh, you blew him out. You blew him out. It wasn't even close. But also another thing I think too is that we both learned things from each other, strategy, how to play, and to kind of push each other to the next level. Because there was no one else besides Fo King that was on our level. Maybe Chief a little bit, but he started off 5-0, and I told him, your bench is thin. We're going to come for you. And we did. Right. And then it was pretty much a 3-team race between you, me, and Fo King. So, and honestly, Fo King's team was so good, he could have won it all. He could have easily won it all. He probably would have beat me too. So, based on his team and what he put up this year. Let's take a quick look at his stats as well. So in the championship, Reflect won the NWSF 2023 League 263.58. And I put up 256.74, best of 2 weeks. So I lost by 7. And then we got Fo King, who's at a 260 right now, still with Dalton Kincaid. And he's at Chief is at 222. So obviously he blew him out there. So would have been very, very interesting to see if it was Fo King versus Reflect. It probably would have went down to the wire. Or Fo King might have been able to even get the dub. Yeah. I mean, if the Jags, didn't have problems with Trevor Lawrence, because he had CJ Stroud that I had, and then he picked him up. But if he didn't have problems with Trevor and ETN, maybe he just runs away with it. Because they were 8-3, and then they just started dropping games. So if they would have ended up finishing the year with 12-5 record or something of that nature, 13-4, yeah, Fo King probably would have just kicked our asses, and it would have been over. So he got bad luck with that, But I mean, his team, he's got some good players on the roster too. He's got CJ Stroud, ETN, fucking Jahmyr Gibbs, CD Lamb was his big horse, DJ Moore, Kincaid, Reed, Cleveland D, Butker, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, James Cook, Thielen, even though he fizzled about halfway through the season, Javonte Williams, Najee Harris, Trevor Lawrence. You won a championship with Jalen Hurts putting up 0.6. Nice job, Reflect. You the man.
Still here. Get one favorite, like a Big Mac.
This is who we're going to see win the national championship tomorrow, baby. Josh Allen, shotgun set. Going deep and complete. Over through Diggs. Stud. My favorite since Johnny Football. That's a pretty big thing. You know, Michael Vick, Johnny Football, Michael Penix Jr. It's not like I have a favorite player every year. You know, it'll be like sometimes 5 or 10 years before I like another guy as much as the previous guy. Vic, I had to wait a few years. Johnny Football, then I had to wait a few years. Michael Penix Jr. Shakir, go. Down the sideline, baby. Look at that speed. Speed kills. First down, Bills. Move the chains. Let's go. Hey, sometimes you got to do the quarterback block, you know. I was already content that I was only going to play more than likely Mullins anyways. And if I would have played him, I would have beat you. But, you know, if I just would have went green. And like I said, sometimes you got to learn from your mistakes. So that way, if you have another opportunity for a championship, and even if you have bigger names that have red, just fade them and just go with the green names. But sometimes it's hard to, you know, to have all your faith in a fucking Nick Mullins, you know. You know, like Zamir White, I trusted him, but Nick Mullins was like, okay, I know you can throw for 300 or 400, but how many picks are you going to get? 2 to 4, you know? And it's like, hopefully it's not 4, but even with 2 touchdowns, 4 picks a couple weeks ago, he still got 16 or 17. But again, I just thought Baker and Mike Evans would play, you know, not great, but at least good enough to score 20, and, you know, I would be able to win. But you know, that's why the NFL is one of those things where every time you think you figure it out, then you get slapped in the mouth and you absolutely know nothing, you know, and the opposite happens. So. Yeah, the person that obviously, you know, got the bad end of the stick was Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson would have been a top 5 receiver this year, you know, 100%. You know, and maybe even top 3 with Aaron Rodgers if Rodgers would have stayed healthy the whole year with that Jets defense. Hell, with the way that the Jets defense was playing, if Rodgers gets that team, you know, into a flow and wins 10 to 12 games, hell, maybe the Jets would have made the AFC Championship game this year. That wouldn't have shocked me one bit. Not sure if the Jets were good enough to win it all, but definitely good enough to compete. You know, I'm not sure if they would have been able to beat like the Ravens, but I mean, the way that Aaron slings it, you know, and if you got Breece Hall and you got, you know, Garrett Wilson and then that top 5 defense, you never know. You know, top 5 offense, top 5 defense, that's a good recipe. Yeah. I had just way too many red matchups in that first week, bro. I told you, 9 red matchups or 8 red matchups is just, you can't recover from that. You just can't, because you're only going to get like 100, 110. Intercepted. Wow, it's a pick party. Interception. The hell is going on here? And plus, too, you got, you know, numbers from Robinson and Slayton. Like, you know, how many people would have done that? You know, so you got 30 combined there. So that's another reason why you won. So, you know, just putting in the right pieces. But even if you would have put in Brandon Cooks, you would have won anyways there. So almost all your pieces hit on the bench except for Dortch. So. Just crazy that you can win a fantasy championship based off just like jobber names at the end of the year. But sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to put in the guy that's got that green matchup, and, you know, everyone else is sitting their guys, and you just have to find, you know, the best green matchups you can, even regardless of how good they are in the regular season. You know, it might be a guy that, you know, you'll never roster, you know, but you'll roster him at that last week because you have no choice. You have to. So you did a great job, dude. But I guess my my loyalty to the Buccaneers cost me, you know. And like I said, I don't got a problem with Rachaad White, but again, with the Baker, you know, and I had a feeling like, you know, either something really good was going to happen or really bad. It wasn't going to be in between, you know. And when I saw Baker in practice, I didn't like what I saw. You know, the ribs were very tender, you know, but I just thought, you know, you're telling me that you're going to play the Panthers, who's the worst team in the NFL, and you can't even throw for one touchdown pass, not even one. And if one was thrown, who was going to get it? Mike Evans. So. Tom Brady on my bench didn't help me with the win. I thought it was going to help, but it didn't. Kaimi Fairbairn with a 7. Boo. New England defense with a 6. Boo. Mike Evans with a 5.2. Boo. Baker with a 6.18. Boo. Definitely do not deserve a championship after those numbers. It's like I would have just handed the trophy over to reflect. I mean, that's just terrible. 4 guys of 7 points or less in the championship week. You kidding me? That's a disgrace. Yeah, it is hard to project. But if you got to think, if you know anyone is good at projecting every game, it's us two. We did a hell of a lot better job than everyone else this year. You know, but again, sometimes, you know, I guess I got stubborn and I thought, you know, I didn't expect Baker and Mike to go off for 50, but I thought, you know, 30 combined, you know, the same amount I would have probably got with Mullins and Zamir. You know, and then I was thinking, okay, if I win the championship, how cool would it be to win with Baker, Evans, and Rachaad White? But apparently the sports gods were like, no, your team sucks. But it's all good. I'm glad that you won, bro. You showed everyone in the league what it takes to compete with the big dog. And then we're going to get a Husky championship since I lost the fantasy natty. And then we'll both be happy tomorrow. Oh, baby. He's kind of good. God, I can't believe the game is 0-0 after the first quarter with all those interceptions. Could you imagine having Josh Allen or Tua in the fantasy championship right now? You'd be definitely biting your nails off, thinking, oh, we're going to have a high-scoring game in the 30s, maybe the 40s. And then all of a sudden, interception. Yeah, the NFL is wild, huh? Shotgun set. Tua. First down, Dolphins.
Anytime he's getting that ball out of his hands quickly, this offense moves. On the other side, Josh Allen is just the opposite. Some of his biggest plays have always come when he has time to scramble and run around. So you're going to see Tua trying to get the ball out on time to neutralize this rush.
Oh, targeting. What was that? Launching his body like a missile.
Look at that guy. You go, how would you block that out there? They tried to not block him and just have him come slam down hard inside.
Second down and 14. Can't believe we don't have a score yet. Come on now. Come on, Dolphins. Halfback toss. Good tackle by Buffalo. NFL is so fucking unpredictable, man. Oh, all kinds of people getting fired. No, Bills are in. They're gonna at halftime. They'll go over all the teams that are in, or Sarah or Finley or anyone that has the time to type in the teams that are in. You can do that if you'd like. Tyreek, move the chains. What a collapse for the Jags. That's tough. But remember, it's not about being the best team, right? It's about being hot and healthy in December. So if you go 4-0 or 3-1 in December, those are the teams that you need to keep an eye on, because those are the teams that are going to get typically to the AFC, NFC championship game, and they might not even be the best team overall. It's just the team that's playing the best football in December. Looks like we might be getting a score here pretty soon, finally, huh? First down, Dolphins. Let's get those likes up. Are we at 10 yet? Hopefully we can get closer to 20. That'll help out with the analytics and whatnot, depending on how many people we have. Halfback toss. But next year, me and Reflect are going to have all the running backs. So, both of our teams will have 16 running backs, 8 on each team. So there won't be any running backs left for anyone else. So, the whole league would hate us. I got 8 running backs. You got 8 running backs. There's literally everyone else's RB2s and flexes are like third string running backs. Oh, they would hate it. They would be hating life. Second down and 6. Man in motion. Tua. Play action fake. Bootleg. Rolling to his left. Run, run, run. There we go. Sliding for the first down. Move the chains. It's pretty amazing when you have your team, when the playoffs start and you think, oh, my team looks good. I feel good about this, right? And then you get to those last 2 weeks and then you look at your roster and you're like, shit, this is not my team. My team looked better than your team on this last week, but I had a horrible last week. So you had the more consistent, 2 weeks, even though you had a Jalen debacle and whatnot, but still, picking up those guys, that had the green matchups with those wide receivers and playing those giant players, that was a very smart move. You earned it, man. Dolphins playing Baltimore. Yeah, you got crushed. Got it with 1.4, yeah. But at least you didn't have as many shit the bed that I did, though. I had 4 out of 9. You can't have that. You know what I'm saying? You had 2. I guess if you want to have Johnson, count, and Aubrey was 7 and 8, but a 1.4 and a 1, but you still ended up getting, good enough numbers. Oh, what a shifty move. Touchdown, Dolphins. All right, A-Chan. A-Chan is the man. Touchdown, Miami. Extra point is up, and it's good. I don't know. I'd have to go look through all the matchups. If someone wants to comment in the chat all the matchups in the playoffs, and then I can give you an answer. Talk about Raheem Mostert, who's had a career year as well. Well, finally we get a touchdown. Very shifty bag. A-Chan is the man. Touchdown, Miami. 7-0 Dolphins. Natty tomorrow, Michigan and Washington, baby. Can't wait for that stream. Preston will be at Monday Night Raw. I will be here in the chair, rooting for the Huskies to win the championship.
Test drive and explore today at Landmark Ford and Tigers, where for 45 years, your satisfaction has been but if you want to from 4B, 4B,
Stud. Certified G bona fide stud. And you can't teach that. 7-0 Miami. Bucks Eagles is trash. Cowboys Packers, you would assume Cowboys will win. Rams Lions is the most intriguing. Obviously Rams, and with the way McVay has been playing with Puka, and then obviously Jared Goff going against his former team and that storyline. So definitely Rams Lions by a landslide. Cowboys should beat the shit out of the Packers. Bucks and Eagles are both terrible. And Rams Lions, you would assume the Lions would win, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams beat them. You know, the Lions are the better team, but the Rams are hot right now, so. Definitely. Josh Allen, play action fake. Dawson Knox, first down, Bills. Brees Hall, stud today. No. Stud every day. Guy's awesome. Big reason why Reflect got the championship, too, is having a consistent stud back like that. I didn't have one like that all year. You know, it's like that's what happens when you go wide receiver heavy. And, you know, you got guys like Ramondre Stevenson and David Montgomery and Rashad White and, you know, and then Jalen Warren and Najee Harris for a little bit. Like, you know, you definitely scramble and you're looking. And, you know, and then obviously having Kyron Williams helped you out a lot, too. But when you can have running backs that can put up 20, 30, 40 points, 50 points, I mean, it's big, you know, because not only they can get them running, but you can get them receiving, too. And then having that consistency of getting 20 or 30 or having the possibility of 20, 30, 40 out of your running backs, it definitely feels great. I mean, I would know. I had Jacobs, Nick Chubb, and Saquon the year before, and I had 3 of the top 4 running backs, and I never had to move any of them. They were running back 1, Nick Chubb, running back 2, Saquon, and Josh Jacobs was my flex all year. Never even moved them besides the week that they had a bye, and then I just set it, forget it, But normally I don't get to do that. So, but that particular year I was able to do that, and again went 13-1. But did I win the championship? No. So I guess I'm a very good fantasy regular season player, but when it comes to the championship, I got to find a way. I have to make better decisions. I gotta reconnect with the sports gods a little bit. 2nd down and 8, 7-0 Miami. Finley and Reflect, fantasy champions. Congratulations to the 2 of them. They earned it. Allen, go, baby. There we go. 1st down, Bills. Move the chains. Ron Popple. Papiu. I thought you were going to bust out the Todd Van Poppel. Little Oakland Athletics. I remember when he came out, they're like, oh my God, the Todd Van Poppel? Never panned out. Like a lot of those guys in like 89, 90, 91 that were all super hyped, and then they just never panned out. Handoff. Short gain on 1st down. It's almost not even like skill in week 18. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, the first, round where everyone is playing, I feel it's skill. But then once you get to week like 17 and 18, it's all luck, and hopefully that you have green rather than red. It's like if you have green on both weeks, even if your players aren't good, you might be able to win a championship, compared to someone that has great players that have red matchups. It's like, if you have like no namers that are green in both weeks, you might be able to win. I mean, it's proven. Allen, going deep. Diggs. 1st down, Bills. Texans, Browns. You would assume the Browns will win that game with Flacco, but CJ Stroud is nice, so you never know. CJ could overachieve, and they could win a game. But I would assume the Browns would win. That's the biggest threat to the Ravens. So we need to see Browns and Ravens in the AFC Championship game or prior, so that way we can get some excitement, on the AFC side, because that might be the only team that can beat the Ravens is the Cleveland Browns. Cook stumbles, gain of a couple on 1st down.
Fade away from a deep throw like that to somebody who could run like Stephon Diggs and plant this thing right.
Yeah, Brown. And then imagine if the Browns won. I mean, the NFL wouldn't like that because the Cleveland Browns are like small market and whatnot. That would be terrible for ratings, but for fans like us, we would love it because it would be like, oh my God, what an amazing, Joe Flacco story. But of course, Ravens Niners is going to make the most money. Oh, toe drag swag, touchdown, Buffalo. Are you fucking kidding me? That was sick. Oh, let's see the replay. Did he get his toes in? Mike McDaniel can't fucking believe it. Let's look at it again. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, baby. Oh, he tapped him. That's a touchdown. Extra point is up, and it's good. Toe drag swag. That's why you work on it in practice. You never know when you might have an opportunity, and it might not be on the sideline. It might be in the back of the end zone. Unbelievable. Extra point is up, and it's good. Fucking ridiculous. Trent Sherfield. Are you shitting me? I know everyone had Trent Sherfield in their fantasy lineups. They knew that was coming.
Hey, what's up there? Oh, I switched to H&R Block. Doing my own taxes online. I was able to file free, and it was so easy to do on my own. So long, TurboTax.
You can file free and easily do your own taxes online with H&R Block.
When my son Brian died, he put out a video about trying to stop young people from drinking and driving. And because of TikTok, can reach millions of people around the world. If you save one person, that's one more person that can change the world too, right?
Honda drivers, did you know Hondas have the highest sale value? If you need your Honda value, only search for Honda with 7% local Honda.
If you didn't have Trent Sherfield in your fantasy lineup, you probably lost in the championship. Unbelievable catch. He's like, yeah, I work on that toe drag swag with O-Dog in the backyard. Nice job, bro. 7-7. I mean, not what we anticipated, but still excitement. A lot of interceptions early on, but now they're settling in. But it doesn't look like we're going to get to that 32 score that I think a lot of people thought we were going to get tonight. Nice job. Is that guy good? Very. Oh, coach of the year. Jake Browning, yeah. You think if I call the Buccaneers and tell them to give the spot to the Saints, they'll do it? So that way we can get the higher draft pick? God, I don't want to be in the playoffs. Like, I don't want to, I mean, the Bucs are terrible. The Eagles are terrible. But even though the Eagles are terrible, you would think they would still be able to beat the terrible Buccaneers. It's like, you know, not a good situation. But I guess if the Bucs beat the Eagles, laughing stock of Philadelphia, like you can't even beat an injured Baker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how bad would that be? Like, you can't even beat the worst team in the NFC in the playoffs. The Tampa Bay Bucs, you can't even beat them. So hopefully the Eagles beat the Bucs, but NFC South champs 3 years in a row. But again, I knew that we weren't going to do anything last year with Tom Brady and we lost to the Cowboys. I knew it. And then obviously we had people, that wanted to make bets with me and Sarah that didn't, pay up. You know, when the Buccaneers didn't not only beat the Cowboys, but they didn't win the Super Bowl. You know, I guess that's what happens. You know, you get delusional fans. And I get it. You know, it's like you can be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, but if you like look at the roster the Bucs had when they went to the Super Bowl and won with Brady in his first year, and then how terrible we were last year and how terrible we were this year, like what would make you think that Tampa could not only beat the Cowboys, but go all the way last year? There was no way. They were terrible, just like they are this year. They're terrible. Terrible.
Quitting the kibble and kicking the pants and feeding their dogs dog food that's actually, well, food. Developed with that.
God, I can't wait for this tomorrow.
Portions for your dog and delivered right to your door. It's smarter, healthier pet food.
Michigan, Washington. Oh, baby. The last year of the Pac-12. Minnesota at 11. Reflect won the championship. He beat me by 7. And then Finley won a championship in his league as well. Minnesota at 11, take Penix. I would for sure. He would look good in that purple too. Plus, then that Jetta, Addison, Hawkinson fantasy value would be amazing. And it would give us another reason to be able to be excited, to be able to watch, the Minnesota Vikings, whether you're a fan of them or not, Like having a Tua in the NFC and making the Vikings must-see TV would be fun. This guy's good. You might have heard of him. Second quarter, 4:18 left, 7-7. Lots of interceptions. Achane with a nice run. Breaking ankles, and Trent Sherfield with some toe drag swag. And here we are, knotted up at 7, where the game was supposed to be in the 30s. But again, nothing is predictable in Week 18. Expect the unexpected. Flag on the play. Yeah. And ultimately you have two pieces that shit the bed, and I had 4. So, so even though your 2 pieces were, really, really bad, I mean, my 4 pieces were bad. But I'm really more mad about the week before rather than this week. Just knowing that when I peeked ahead at the schedule, and I said it, I was like, I'm going to get fucked up in that week. With all that red, you got all that green and I got all that red. And it's like, why couldn't the sports gods give me 4 red and like 4 or 5 neutral? Why did it have to be 8 out of 9 red or 9 out of 9 red in the first week of the championship? Like, that's unfair. Like, how the hell am I supposed to recover from that? But it is what it is, I guess. And then this week I had a potential 8 out of 9, but of course, me being stupid, making adjustments at the end and second guessing myself. Milano on the sideline there. But the right person won. So, Elliot in the building. What's good? Bro, why didn't you guys take that division? You guys should have beat us, bro. Why can't the Saints be NFC South champs? You guys are playing better football late than we are right now. You guys would actually beat the Eagles or at least compete with them. We're not going to beat the Eagles. Hell, Baker could barely even play out there. We looked like shit against you guys. And then couldn't even get a touchdown on the Panthers. Terrible. Just like last year, the worst team going into the playoffs 2 years in a row, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Shotgun set. Tua. Wilson pumping his legs.
First down, and Chris, you talked about the run game and the effectiveness last week against Baltimore. 100 rushing yards already for Miami tonight.
But watch this offensive line, right? We have got posted over on the outside, and that guy is
especially after beating the shit out of the Buccaneers last week too. I would have rather had you guys make the playoffs because you guys are playing better football. You guys would actually be able to compete with the Eagles and hell, maybe even beat them. The Eagles aren't playing good football. You guys are playing pretty good football the last 2 weeks. Defense has stepped up, and you guys and Carr has looked pretty sharp in the last 4 weeks. Much better than he did in the beginning of the year. And you guys ended up winning without Alvin Kamara, and then the coach obviously got pissed off at you for the Falcons. So, all right, 2-minute warning. We're knotted at 7. And then we got Michigan and UW tomorrow, baby. Can't wait for this. This guy's kind of good. Been telling y'all for like 2 years. Now all the people on social media are now, oh, I told you Michael Penix Jr. was the best quarterback. Oh, I told you he was good. It's more than just being a lefty. But again, it shows you, sports media doesn't know anything. And if you're going to see the Huskies win, you're going to see a big play or two for Michael Penix Jr. to this guy right here, Rome Ladunzier. It's like a Troy Franklin. This guy's a stud. Going to make some big plays. Hell, he might end up making the winning play. Might be something like this against one of the Michigan DBs. Michael Penix Jr. going back, going long, going deep. The corner fell down. Is he going to get it? Touchdown, Huskies. Can't wait, man. We're knotted up at 7. Hopefully nobody has Josh Allen or Tua in fantasy. Probably not too happy with the numbers. Yeah. Third down and 3. Tua, floater. Nice catch. I want to see that, but on the NFC side next year. Flag on the play. First down, Dolphins. Move the chains. Arthur Smith was pissed because they were running up the score at the end. That's why he was pissed. It's like Bush League. It's like when you're playing a rival and then you're running up the score. It's like something that's unspoken. You just don't do it. And when people do it, yeah, they'll get mad. I mean, it's one thing to lose, but it's also you have to have enough character when you're winning and you're winning big, and then you purposely are running up the score, which is kind of bullshit. You don't have to do that. You purposely do it because you don't like the other person or the other team. And again, it all depends if that, other coach calls you out on it or not. So, people can say, just play better. Yeah. But also too, if you're ever in that situation, and you see someone running up the score when they don't need to, you don't forget. And that will end up leading to a fight next year. It's just how it's going to go. Could you imagine if coaches started like punching each other in the face? I actually kind of thought that he was going to do it. But I mean, obviously, if there wasn't going to be such big repercussions if you were to do it, like if it was not like an accepted thing, but not like a terrible thing either, kind of like in hockey when they get in a scrap, like at the end of a NFL game, if the coaches went to the 50-yard line and punch each other in the face a couple times, I think that would be good ratings. I would love it. You don't like Green Bay, neither do I. I think a lot of people don't give a fuck about Green Bay. A very sus fan base. Some people that are Green Bay Packer fans I like, but a majority of them I do not. We got a few on this channel that I don't really have a problem with, but I think overall, not for me. What makes you not like Green Bay, Elliot? Why do you not like Green Bay? Interaction with Green Bay Packer fans? Some kind of thing that happened to you in the past? What's your story with not liking Green Bay? Like I said, everyone's going to have at least like one team or one player that they don't like. In the NFL, for me, it's Green Bay. And then on the MLB side, it's probably the Astros and Altuve. But other than that, that's pretty much the only thing I think I dislike or, don't really care for. Astros, Altuve, and then Packers. And that's it. I don't think I have anything else really that I can say. Third down and 1. Elliot's like, I don't like Green Bay because they don't serve pizza at the game. No pet. Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. They're in their own fantasy world. You know what I mean? It's not like they're winning championships year in and year out. You know what I mean? Like, you haven't won in a long fucking time. And the both times they won with Favre and with Rodgers, if you didn't have Reggie White and Charles Woodson, there's no championship. But you never hear any Packer fans talking about that. They're always talking about Brett or Aaron. It's like defense wins championships. You don't have that Hall of Famer, both of them, you don't win. Tyreek, touchdown, Dolphins. Oh, 100%. 100%. I agree. Tyreek Hill fantasy points. Anybody got Tyreek in fantasy? $14-7 Dolphins. Tyreek. Kind of good. Where are we at on the likes right now? Are we at 10 yet? Try to get to 15 if we're not at 10. Or if we are at 10, let's try to get to 15 and then try to get to 20 if we have a few more people trickling in. Once they get a better offensive line and a better defense, Miami will be able to make an AFC championship game, but they're just not there yet. They have explosive weapons, and they can still win 10, 11, 12 games, but until they actually get an O-line and a defense to win 13 or 14 games, that's what it might take for them to get there. All right, Buffalo, your turn. 4 more likes to 20. Nice. I've been listening to a lot of like white noise, like sea and like ocean, waves and rain and stuff, like going to sleep. It definitely has helped quite a bit. If you have any like, not even really necessary depression or anxiety or anything, but you just want, something calm, to listen to and whatnot. And a lot of the stuff on YouTube will be for 4, 6, 8, 12 hours. So once you start hitting play, it'll go on throughout the night and then you can relax and whatnot. So, but it's definitely helped me and Paisley sleep a little bit better, even though she'll wake up periodically in the night, and I'll have to readjust, where she's going to be sleeping. And then I restarted Superstore because I wanted some funny in my life. And then once I finish Superstore, I'll probably go to New Girl because I, watched that years ago, but I think I would like to restart New Girl. And it's on Peacock, New Girl, and Superstore. So I say, you know what? Those will be other shows that I can start. I'm on episode 2 or 3 on Deadwood, so I did start that as well. Still a little slow for me, but I am enjoying it. But I guess it just depends on my mood. Sometimes I want to laugh. Sometimes I'm not in a mood to sit and watch a Western, unless I see a lot of people getting shot or, crazy shit, going on and whatnot. So there's just a lot of talking in Deadwood. I figured you got to build up the character development, and I get that, but hopefully as it gets further along in the first season, there'll be more action. But that's what I'm watching right now. I got a few shows that are on the tilt. A little Ninja Turtles from '87, a little regular show, a little Planet Earth, and then obviously watching Deadwood and then Superstore.
Back in there one more time though with Jerome Baker, and they wanted to get Baker a little experience out there.
Yeah, no noise sometimes is not good. Like you have to put your window open and then have to hear like rain or birds or like nature, but I feel like if you turn on like the white noise and you can do like rain, or you can do like ocean waves, or sometimes do like like a little lake, just depending on the pattern of water that you want to hear. It's definitely relaxing though. I mean, rain can make you fall asleep pretty quick, and if you can hear like the thunder and other noises and whatnot, but sometimes like waves crashing is nice. I've noticed that it's definitely it's good. It like centers me and whatnot. And then they also have stuff where they have like certain frequencies of like noise with the weather. So they'll have like waves crashing, but then they have these like waves and rhythms of music that are very like soothing, but then you can still hear like the waves in the background and whatnot. So highly recommend though, if you're looking for something new, to listen to try to sleep and whatnot. Unless, I mean, a lot of times people will just listen to either music or they just have a TV show on in the background. So do Pats fans even exist? I mean, I don't think really Pats fans exist anymore, right? Do they don't watch games? Brady and Gronk aren't there. Belichick is gone. They can't win without Brady and Gronk being gone. Like all those obnoxious bandwagon fans either left to be Tampa fans when Brady left, right? Or, you don't really see them anymore. I mean, maybe you interact with them more, but there's not a lot of them out there anymore. At least on social media, they're not. There used to be. Obviously you can talk a big talk when your team is winning year in and year out, but then when the team sucks, everyone disappeared, including the heavy Brady supporter fans. I mean, I know there's still, diehard New England Edelman and Wes Welker and Belichick and Gronk and Brady guys that are out there, but a lot of those guys aren't on the internet. They're just watching games in their man cave or at the bar, getting drunk, and then now being very sad and depressed because they're not going to be good ever again. So they had their 20-year run. They got their championships, and they're probably not going to see one ever again. So, they had their magical run, and I highly doubt that they'll ever be relevant again. I mean, unless they end up getting Drake May. But it sounds like if they end up getting Drake May, maybe Belichick won't be there. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. So Harbaugh, maybe to the Patriots. Harbaugh, maybe to the Chargers. Harbaugh, we don't know. But there's definitely going to be a lot of people fired here very shortly. And then we get the Natty tomorrow. So I'm excited. A couple more likes to get to 20. We're at a hundo. Let's get to 2. Elliot helping out with the Twitter /X. I appreciate you, my son. Sarah helping out on that avenue as well. Elliot, Sarah, appreciate the 2 of you.
Closer inspection looks being taken by the replay booth and back in New York. So we're going to look at that. We're going to step out.
All right, I'm going to go get my Snapple here real quick.
Or not.
14-7, Miami. The Dems. Eagles Buccaneers on Monday night, huh? Packers Cowboys on Sunday. Browns Texans on Saturday. Eagles Bucks on Monday. Can you imagine if the Buccaneers actually beat the Eagles? They will have a fucking meltdown. I mean, they're already having a meltdown after starting off 10-1 and being dog shit. Pass, drop. What happened to my hands? You know, but again, if they think that they've seen a fucking meltdown, wait until the Buccaneers beat them. If that were to happen, oh, they would lose it. Oh, James Cook. What happened to my hands? Megan in the building. How are you? 14-7 Dolphins. 100 to go. Sad that we're getting close to the end. All right, see if Buffalo can score here right before halftime.
Plenty of time to take your shots here into the end zone. So
Tua looked like he was wondering if that was the right move defensively.
yeah, you know, now you've got these are normal plays from the 10-yard line, from the 20-yard line. That's a little tougher. So they gave up a free shot now at the end zone.
11 seconds left, 14-7, Miami. Timeout called by Miami, second timeout.
Miami wins tonight. We re-rack this game here.
Teoscar's going to the Dodgers. Who isn't going to the Dodgers? Golly, they're getting everybody. Bills win, Steelers at Bills, which is an advantage for the Bills. Dolphins and Chiefs. That would be interesting. Tyreek going against his former team. And then if the Dolphins win, we get Bills, Dolphins again, and then Steelers, Chiefs. I would rather have Steelers, Bills, and Dolphins, Chiefs. So I would hope that the Bills can find a way to win this game. I mean, Tyreek being able to go against his former team, that's a storyline in itself. Oh, so close. Oh, they're not going to get it. Wow, big stop by the Dolphins there. And points get left again for the Buffalo Bills. Fuck, that's crazy. That's insane. Why did he get so much money? Why did he get so much? He's not worth that much.
We just got to be smart. Take what they're giving us. He was doing that early, got a little bit.
15 for 22, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks for Josh Allen. Not good. 9 for 13, 123 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick for Tua. Right? But at least Allen's got 4 carries for 30 yards, but then the picks still keep following him in his career. Achane with 8 carries, 55 yards, and a tutty. Diggs at least getting somewhat a look in the first half. 5 receptions for 75 yards, and then 5 receptions for 60 yards and a tutty for Tyreek. Not what we expected, I think, in this matchup, but it is only the first half. I mean, that's mad money for Teoscar. Teoscar only worth like $5-10 million a year, not $20 million plus. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a 1-year deal with, you do good, maybe we bring you back, you do bad, then whatever. But wow. I mean, Mariners would probably only pay $2.35 million, not $23.5 million. We probably would have paid $2 million, not 23. Golly. Teoscar hit the lotto. He's like, why go back to the Mariners when I can get 10 times the amount or 20 times the amount from the Dodgers? Wow. Well, there's another player that we won't get.
When it comes to your 5G network, Verizon doesn't compromise on reliability. Brought to you by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL.
This difficulty demands an ease specialist. Yeah, that's Geico. Makes it easy to get coverage for what you care about. Cars, apartments, jewelry, doing anything.
All the Mariner buddies are like, yeah, we would have only paid a fraction of that. Oh, shit. 6.5 million more than Julio's getting. Ridiculous. All right, let me know what we want to do for photos here. I'll take care of you guys. Anyone that did good for you in fantasy to win the championship, anyone that you want to be able to showcase on the show, whether your team won or got eliminated from the playoffs, if you won or lost, made the playoffs, didn't make the playoffs, made the fantasy championship, didn't make the fantasy championship, won the fantasy championship like Reflect and with Finley, or someone that lost the fantasy championship like myself. Let me know if there's anything that you guys want to see, and I got you.
And feeding your dogs dog food that's actually
All right, T. Oscar. Well, I'll be doing a lot of Mariner games and Dodger games, so I mean, at least the Dodgers will be a lot of fun to watch. I don't know how much fun the Mariners will be to watch, but probably a lot of misery and a lot of me swearing on the stream, but but we'll try to make the best of it. Browns and Texans, huh? Eagles and Bucks, huh? Lions, Rams, that's got a lot of intrigue. All the Mariner fans are like, golly, that's insane. Yeah, let me throw up some Derek Brown for you, bro. I got you. We don't get to show too much Panthers representation on here since they are struggling right now, but we can definitely do that. Derek Brown from Auburn. I remember. Let me get you your Panther spinning logo up here for you, brother. Oh, there we go. Give Finley some love for winning the fantasy championship in his league, as well as reflect in our league here on the NWSF 2023 league. No better feeling than winning a fantasy championship, let me tell you. Especially if you actually care about it and put in a lot of hard work. I mean, I guess if you don't give a shit about it and then you just fall into winning a championship, you know, that's great. But, you know, for some of us, we put in a lot of effort and time. Like, it definitely takes over my life where I'm on the app like 6 hours a day for the whole season. 6 hours a day, every day until today. And then now I'm going to be a little lost without having to look on the fantasy app. But kind of cool being able to see some Panther representation on the channel. And I'm always going to rep the NFC South, so. Yeah, ridiculous, dude. Tyreek and Mahomes is must-see TV. I agree. $100 tackles as a DT since 2000. Derek Brown. One of the guys I went to high school, his name was Derek Brown. Michigan, Washington, baby. Can't wait for tomorrow. Yeah. It's tough, man. Every goal is, to be able to try to make the playoffs every single year. Injuries can definitely be devastating, and sometimes it's just not the year, and you got to wait to the following year and then try to be able to, start over and go from there. So. Yeah, but just because they didn't make the playoffs doesn't mean they need to fire everyone. It just seems like it's a very toxic place. Like, more times or not that you have bad times there than good. Like, the only times that it's good there is that when they win. And even when they win, you get people that are being toxic. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be a part of something like that, but I'm glad that you are. I'm glad that you can handle it the best way that you can. But I know for my mental health, there's no way in hell I would go somewhere that I would make me feel like that, like pretty often. Because it sounds like it's like 30% of the time it's cool when you guys are winning and everything's going good. But when things are going bad, or when you guys are losing or you lost, then it's like negative vibes for who knows how long, and that toxic fucking language and behavior, But I'm happy that you have an outlet to go hang out with other Seahawk fans. But yeah, that's disappointing that fan base is that way for you. It's like all you're trying to do is hang out with people that love the same thing as you. But again, it shows you not every fan is created the same. Not every fan knows football. Not every fan is, not biased. Not every fan has, empathy or sympathy. Some fans know football, some fans don't. And some fans just like to argue. So. All right, we're in the third quarter now. That's why, I take a lot of pride, here, with who I have in the room. And even if that means I'm losing, hundreds of subs and I'm losing views and I'm not growing as quick as I would like and I'm missing out on donos and money. But again, peace of mind is worth more than any other increase in sub count or views or having 100, 200 people in the room. If people are going to be rude or toxic or annoying, it's not worth it. Would I love to have 111 people in the room? Yeah, but I wouldn't want 111 people in the room if a bunch of them are assholes and it's just going to ruin it for all the good people. It's not worth it. I'd rather have the amount that I got, So hopefully we can get to a point where we can grow and have more people and have less of the toxic people and whatnot. But You know, the internet breeds toxic people left and right. We know that. But at least that's one thing that no one will be able to ever determine, is that I determine, you know, who's on the channel and what we talk about, and, you know, the vibe overall. And if it's not good vibes, then they're not going to be here, regardless of, you know, how much money they're donating or not. It doesn't matter. You know, if that means I'm missing out on thousands of dollars a month or hundreds of dollars a month from someone that is rich but is an asshole, then I guess I'll just be, you know, that much poorer. But the vibe will be better, and that's what really what matters. So mental health is everything. You got to make sure you take care of this. You know, don't go somewhere if you know it's not going to be good vibes. Little tush push. First down, Bills. Three more likes to 20. Plus, anyone that watches the NFL, regardless if they only watch a little or if they watch every game, everyone considers themselves an expert. You know what I mean? Like, everyone thinks that they know everything, you know, and there's definitely different levels to the fandom. You know, the more that you read and the more that you watch, the more knowledge that you're going to be able to gain. But even if you're watching games and you're reading, you could still be incredibly biased, you know, towards your team or your players. And that's really the main thing, is just being able to have another perspective other than your own, and being able to see things from other people's point of views, you know, that actually have, you know, good knowledge. You know what I mean? Because obviously you can get different point of views from people that are biased, but, you know, it just ends up being just a big pool of negativity. So that sucks that you have to go through that. Teoscar to the Dodgers, baby. Yeah. That's why I'm not a part of any Oregon Ducks or any Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Seattle Mariner, or Portland Trailblazer fan pages. Not even one. Can't do it, because there's just too many idiots in there. You know, too many dummies, too many people that are just assholes. Van Ginkel is down.
Without Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb, and it would be a huge injury for the Dolphins. They're checking on Van Ginkel right now. The savings continue with Bi-Mart's latest winter stock reduction savings book. Pick up a copy in store. Save $15 on a 50-pound bag of Black Gold Explorer dry dog food, just $34.99. Save on Sterilite storage totes. The 54 quart is...
I tried for a little bit with Tampa Bay and the Ducks. I wasn't ever going to do Blazers or the Mariners. You know what I mean? And then sometimes you get people that are like content creators and all they do is like negative content. And I don't like that type of shit. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I don't think the Blazer fan base is as toxic. I think, you know, you would be able to have more Blazers, Mariners that would be able to get along with each other, especially with the Blazers, you know, we're terrible. You know, it's a rebuild. We already know that. So, but I never really, you know, I never had any wanting of fan pages that I've wanted to join. You know, maybe if we have the roster of like the, you know, 80s Blazers or the 90s Blazers, maybe, you know, but, you know, I don't have any interest in joining any fan pages on the Blazers. I mean, if I was going to join any, I would do Mariners, I would do Ducks, and I would do Tampa. But, you know, like I said, I tried Tampa for maybe a couple months. Way too toxic. Way too stupid people. And then I tried doing Ducks, and, you know, it's like that's probably my favorite team out of all my teams, and I still couldn't do it because you get like a lot of these people that just want to fucking talk shit and argue, and it never ends up being like good conversation, you know, where you can have opinion, this person can have an opinion, and we can just like hang out and like be civil. It always ends up being someone says something, someone else says something, someone says something, and then at some point you're just like, fuck you, you know, or, you know, you don't even want to be a part of it, you know. So yeah, but I've never done, you know, the Blazers or the Mariners, but if I were to, I would do Mariners over Blazers. I don't have any interest talking about the Blazers. Like, what am I going to talk about with other Blazer fans? How much that we suck? Oh, we suck. Yep, agreed. Okay, bye. I mean, that's it. I mean, if it's Oregon Ducks, you're going to have questions about Dan Lanning, this and that, but I think he's answered a lot of those now. And he's the guy and recruiting is going in the right way. Tampa, some people are going to have their opinions on things and whatnot, but his fan pages are not for me. Not for me. There's just too many keyboard warriors and too many people that act like they know everything and they're not even watching the games. They just like to argue. So sports is supposed to bring people together, not, separate them and bring them apart. So yeah, Blazer fan base isn't toxic. Blazer fan base is one of the best fan bases in America. They're very good, very passionate, even when we suck. And they're not the type of people to like talk shit, even if we don't like the Lakers. Some Blazer fans might, just that rivalry is heated. You know what I mean? But most Blazer fans appreciated the Sonic Blazer rivalry, the Blazer Laker rivalry. Any type of rivalry that we have, Blazers and OKC or any other team, Utah. And with the Mariners, I mean, again, it's like most Mariner fans are like, fuck the Astros, just like everyone else because of the cheating. So I don't think there's anything crazy there. Gabe Davis on the sideline. 3rd down and 5. Candace, how are you? I mean, I wasn't the biggest Dan Lanning supporter, but after, seeing him, coach this year, still, I don't like, going for 2. But again, if you don't have confidence in your kicker, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a Dolphin sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. But if you don't have a good kicker, I understand why, the aggressiveness. It's just, reminded me too much of Chip Kelly and then not, getting the results that Chip got, which was positive results, But I am not, on that Mario Cristobal, Chip Kelly. We need to replace Dan Lanning. I think he is the guy. We should hopefully keep him for 5 to 10 years and see where it goes. And if we are able to keep him for 5 to 10 years, maybe we'll win a natty. But if we replace him, then we're going to have to start over at square one. So unless Nick Saban ends up coming to Oregon, then, then all things will be cured. And I don't see Nick Saban coming to Oregon anytime soon. So, which would be very cool if he did, though. But Mariners don't spend money. So, all the fans are fucking mad and, pissed off. Blazer fans, our team is shit. We don't got Dame, so we're rebuilding. We suck. Bottom 5 team. Buccaneers are trash, but we find a way to make the NFC South crown 3 years in a row. But just like last year, to the Cowboys, we'll probably get our ass kicked by the Eagles. I mean, Philadelphia better pray that they don't lose to the Bucs because their fan base won't handle it well. Yeah. Well, the Gator fan base is toxic because they have high expectations. Steve Spurrier, Urban Meyer. If you don't got guys like that, Danny Werfel, Ike Hilliard, Jaquez Green, Rydell Anthony, Tim Tebow, Brandon Spikes, if you don't got names like that, Percy Harvin, it's like you have the reputation to uphold. And if you're not championship caliber, that's it's either all or nothing. You either are elite or you're garbage, so I get it on the Florida side. Because you guys hit the pinnacle as being the top, and anytime you're not the top, of course, people are going to get frustrated, right? Bottom 5 club. We're on the same group. Panthers and Blazers. Bottom 5, baby. I wish the Buccaneers were bottom 5, though. Then I could join you. I wish you and me were in the bottom 5 with the Bucs and the Panthers. I wish you and me had the same record. And I'm not even lying. I really wish that we didn't make the playoffs. I really wish it would have went Saints, Falcons, Bucks, Panthers. You guys win a couple games. Maybe Buccaneers win like 4, 5 at the most. And then I could have ended up getting a new franchise QB. Now I'm stuck with Baker until I'm like 80. Thanks a lot, Bucks. Antoine Winfield Jr., you saw that, baby. Nobody is better at punching out footballs, but not only that, punching out footballs when it's about to be a touchdown for the other team. I have never seen a player. Peanut Tillman was the best at punching it out. but Antoine Winfield Jr. is the best on preventing touchdowns from being scored. When you got a running back or wide receiver down the sideline and it looks like they're about to score, and then at the half-yard line, here comes Antoine Winfield Jr. right before the touchdown, boop, pokes it out, and then he's prevented like 4 or 5 touchdowns from being scored this year. I have never seen a player do that before and do it with that type of accuracy. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, baby. Best safety in the league. Because not only is he getting interceptions, fumbles, sacks, tackles for loss, he's preventing touchdowns that should be touchdowns. I don't know what's more impressive than that. You know, having a running back wide receiver going down the sideline thinking they got an easy score, and then Antoine Winfield just doesn't give up on plays. And even if it looks like it's an easy 6, he's like, no, I'm going to do whatever it takes as long as that ball doesn't get into that hash mark. I'm going to try to punch it out at the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, the 1, the half-yard line, and he's hella successful at it. Tua, play action fake, a little check. Oh, big hit. Oh, my. Spurs bottom 5 too, yeah. Yeah. We can be bottom 5 bros. Spurs, Panthers, Blazers, and I wish I could say Buccaneers, damn it. Yeah, I wouldn't want him back either. And Thielen fell off too, but it just shows you guys need a full rebuild. O-line, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, defense, coaching, GM, everything pretty much besides Bryce. I mean, there's a lot to rebuild. So you're way further behind than the Jacksonville Jaguars were when they were the bottom team for 2 years. Like if you look at their team when they were the bottom team compared to your team right now, you're like 10 pieces behind them. And they were the worst team in the football in the NFL for like 10 years. And you're that many pieces behind when they were the worst team. So it's going to take some time, you know, but we'll be bottom 5 bros, you know. That's just, I guess, how it goes for sports fans. I mean, normally that's how it is for me. You know, me being a Blazer, Mariner, Duck, Buccaneer fan, and I normally have one good team a year. Most, maybe 2 at the most, you know, but never all 4. And never 3 out of 4. Never. It's always 1 or 2. Maybe the most ever was 3, but I've never had 4 hit at the same time. So, and sometimes it's none. You know, there was a point where it was like nobody was good. Blazers, Bucks, Ducks, Bucks, all of them suck ass. Blazers, garbage. Mariners, no playoffs for 20 years. Buccaneers, no playoffs for 12 years. And then the Ducks were really the only thing that were keeping me going, you know, and even though it wasn't natties, but just the fact of maybe winning the Pac-12 championship or winning a Rose Bowl and getting there, that kind of, you know, made me want to keep going and want to, you know, have something to look forward to. So. That's why you got to appreciate the good times, you know, and appreciate the roster. So if you don't have a roster that looks like a Super Bowl roster, you know, from a few years back, you know, you're not good enough. You know, it's like everyone can hope and dream, you know what I mean? But you're going to know when the team is good enough and when they're not good enough. You know, sometimes we want to think that our teams are contenders, but essentially they're pretenders. But we have so much love and appreciation and time spent and money spent and jerseys and toothbrushes and coffee mugs and posters and pennants and shoes and autograph cards and McFarland's and starting lineups and all this. But at the end of the day, you know, there's only going to be one champ, you know, and a bunch of pretenders. So, but luckily, you know, even, you know, with the Buccaneers making it and the Seahawks not, I actually wish the Seahawks would have made it and the Buccaneers didn't, if that means anything. But at least we have the Kraken, and at least we got Joey DeCord and, La Brea final season. Nice. I'll definitely watch that. La Brea, watch it. But at least we have the Kraken, and at least we're not playing as bad as we did earlier in the year. And it looks like if we keep playing like this, we will be able to hopefully make the playoffs, which will be exciting. Nobody is cheering for the Swifties to make it. They're not going to make it. Hell, they might not even win the first game. Telling you, that was a big distraction, man. Whether they want to admit it or not. Wide receivers couldn't catch. Nagy was there. No Bieniemy, no Juju. Taylor Swift. Not a good combo. Not a good combo. Mahomes getting frustrated. Never will draft Mahomes in fantasy ever again. And you're not going to be able to fix that shit unless you end up getting, good draft picks, getting rid of a bunch of the bad pieces, and you having a better offensive coordinator, because it ain't going to work if you have Nagy there for the next 5 years. Even if you draft Rome and Troy Franklin, it ain't going to work with Nagy there. It ain't. So, maybe the Chiefs' run is over. Maybe they had their run and they had their magical time, and now everyone is catching up. La Brea. It's like a portal, like another, another world and whatnot. I like it, man. I like stuff that sometimes can be confusing, but you have to pay attention. Like Westworld. I love Westworld, but there would be times where I'd be watching Westworld. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And I would have to put my phone down and rewatch a scene. And sometimes you get these intellectual shows, or they're about the future or sci-fi, or what's real and what's not real, and having to be able to really pay attention. But I'm a guy that likes a little bit of everything. You'd be surprised, man. Alaska, I like everyone thinks I like just the sports, but I like cartoons. That's probably my number one, vintage or new. I like Alaska programs. I like programs that are on the water, swamp people, wicked tuna, Alaskan bush people, life below zero. I like comedies. I like Superstore. I like old school stuff like Friends. It just depends on my mood, on what I like. So Simpsons, it just depends on my mood on what I like. $100. Let's get to 2. I think it's good to be well-rounded. You don't want to be just sports or just one thing. You want to make sure you're a well-rounded individual so you can vibe with a lot of different types of people. And plus, you'll never know what cool show you're missing out on just because it might be a rom-com or maybe a little too girly for you, Like there was this show on CW. I used to watch The Flash on CW. Loved it. I thought it was probably one of the best adaptations of a comic book to a TV show. And hell, it was on CW. CW brings all the cheese. Their shit is cheesy a lot of times. But The Flash was awesome. 10 out of 10. Except when it got kind of towards late and they didn't have Cisco in the show anymore. It really wasn't as good. And then I used to watch a show called iZombie, which was really cheesy and corny with zombies, but I like the cast that was in it, and I watched every episode. So it kind of just depends on, if you can get past the cheese factor in some of the corny shows, sometimes you can have a little corn and a little cheese in your show, and it can still be good, and you can still enjoy it, 14-7, Dolphins. Come on, Alan. Let's go, baby. 100 to go. CGI. I don't know. I just like the characters, Barry Allen and everyone that was in the show. I liked it a lot. And then the Flash movie was awesome. Did you watch the Flash movie? I watched the movie maybe 3 weeks ago. I was like, holy shit. I don't know. I like effects. So I'm always going to be a Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Ninja Turtle, Transformer, whatever, So it's like, if I see CGI and they do it well, I like it. I'm not against it, but I don't know, man. I think if you go back and watch Flash from the beginning, if you have, love for the characters, you'll enjoy it. I mean, there's always going to be, some, kind of corny stories, and not every episode is going to be your favorite. Or when they do the musical thing, when certain shows that you watch, they do a musical episode or a musical season. I hate that. It's like, if you're going to do musical stuff where the cast is singing, do it for a skit or one episode, not a lot. That shit gets hella annoying to me. I don't even care if they can sing or not. I don't need to see that shit. 14-7 Dolphins. Hand off to James Cook. Short game. 20 likes. There we go. $100 to get to the next goal. Shout out to Finley and Reflect for being fantasy gods. Fantasy gods, you hear me? That's what you are. Congratulations to the two of you. It's not easy winning a fantasy championship. You can be like me and work the hardest, make the most moves, make 100 to 200 moves, finish in first place, and then get to the playoffs and just never win, So, if you do win a championship, appreciate it. It's very difficult to do. One of the hardest things to do in life, win a fantasy championship. It's skill to get to the fantasy playoffs, luck to win the championship. Sometimes you put a little skill in, but a lot of it is a little bit of luck too. And praying that you have more green than the other team. Little tush push, first down, Bills. Aquaman, yeah. I saw that they had a new Gordon Ramsay show that's coming out in 3 weeks. So I can't wait for that. Next Level, Chef. You guys watch that? If you don't, fucking watch it. I swear to God, you'll thank me later. If you like cooking and you like food and you like Gordon Ramsay, oh man. And he's got, the black chick who's a chef, and then that other funny white dude with the hair, they're back. And then he usually has the funny white dude and then the Mexican dude on another show with him as well. I mean, Gordon Ramsay got like 3-4 shows. He got Next Level Chef, Master Chef Junior with the kids. I love that too. But we're getting into it, man. When's the Aquaman come out? And if anyone's got any recommendations on any movies or shows, fucking type them in the chat. I'm always down to hear what you guys are doing. Where with the 12s? What are they saying, Megan? What are they saying? They're saying fire Pete, fire Schneider, fire Gino. This team sucks. Rebuild. Like what are they saying? What insane things are they saying now? It's like you're not going to be able to go to the fucking Super Bowl or the playoffs every year. The Rams were the hotter team late, than the Seahawks, and the Seahawks had that rough schedule. So I mean, to think that they were going to come out of that unscathed, Niners, Eagles, Cowboys, Niners. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, how many teams could actually even win a game out of that 4-game stretch, let alone 2, 3, or all 4? I mean, yeah, sometimes you got to have realistic expectations. And I know, some fan bases just don't, Well, we love you and we appreciate you, and we'll always, have a safe place for you to hang out if you want to hang out. If you want to be by yourself, you want to be able to, vibe, by yourself, you're more than welcome to at any time. But we do appreciate you, whether you donate or not. And you can come here, hang out, vibe. You can bitch and moan, compare it, to those people that treated you wrong. We're here to listen. And we don't mind it. If you gotta be able to get it out, and let it out. We don't care. Like, I actually encourage you to let it out here, because if you don't let it out here, you're not going to be able to let it out there. And otherwise, you're just going to be screaming in your house. And we want your mental health to be on a better note. It's already bad enough and hard enough, not having them in the playoffs. You don't need to have anyone, make it even more difficult, pass incomplete. It's like you're already, going through the loss already. It's like the last thing you need to hear is a bunch of idiots making it worse. So sorry that it's happening to you like that. But think about how many times you've come into this stream and said that. I'm not saying that you don't need to be in that stream ever again. You know what I mean? But if your mental health is affected almost every time you go there, I mean, sometimes you might have to make a decision. Like, you love Brandon and all, but it sounds like the room is not good. And it's like that all the time. It's not like it's good, 90% of the time and then 10% bad. It sounds like it's 90% of the time it's shitty. It's not good, or it starts off good and then it ends up being toxic like every other time. Oh, big turnover. He coughed it up. That just sucks, because you can have a lot of love and support for him as a host, but it's also his job and responsibility to manage that room. And it sounds like he doesn't. You said that before he tries. Well, apparently he ain't trying hard enough, because he obviously is collecting donos and he's liking the views and subs that he's getting from those toxic people. And that's really where it comes down to. You either care about the people that are important on the channel or you don't. You care about views, subs, and money and donos only, then you're going to keep everyone in the room, because apparently if it's like that all the time, then he's not doing enough to preserve the mental health in the room. That's just the bottom line. So, I mean, that's why every other channel, that's what they care about. You have to sometimes read between the lines. Not everything is black and white. Sometimes it's a gray area where they can be like, well, yeah, I want to make sure everyone's having a good time, this and that. They can say that, but if it consistently has negative people and, it makes, the room toxic, I mean, the writing is on the wall, It's like almost every week, something's going on over there. And I wish him the most success, you know what I mean? But I am happy that my channel is the complete opposite of his. So because the thing is that if I have anyone come in, then I'm going to lose out on people that are special to me, on the channel that I actually care about. It's better to have, 5 close people than to have 500 that no one gives a shit about you, It's better to have the close, real people than the fugazi, fakes of the masses. So.
What do you think of the jacket? You look like a marshmallow.
And that's why it's crazy too, because like I said, you would think, just being a fan of a team and going to a team place that everyone would get along. And then you find out real quick that it ends up being like the most toxic place that you're going to visit each week, which even though is crazy because it's like the Seahawks are your favorite team, you wouldn't think that your favorite team and your favorite thing would lead to the most toxic thing in your life. But that's unfortunately how things are in sports.
I just said the first word. Can you say mama?
Alcohol, all the alcohol.
How many people did you tell?
That's why I'm proud of the people that we have on here. It means a lot. It means everything to me. Like preserving the mental health and helping people is my number one priority. Other channels will say it, but they don't mean it. You know what I mean? They say it because it's like a nice thing to say, but they don't truly, genuinely mean it. Actions speak louder than words. It has to be more than just likes, subs, views, and donos, and you'll find out real quick if it is or if it's not. So, and I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. I not only take pride in maintaining the mental health of the room, that we actually have some of the most intelligent people for sports and pop culture and beyond, a part of this channel. If we played Sports Jeopardy against any other channel that has a YouTube sports channel, we'd beat the shit out of them. Oh, we'd obliterate them. No question. It's probably a little bit of both. It's been a long season, lots of expectations, wanting to be able to, make the playoffs, even though, your team isn't Super Bowl, caliber. It's like we put in a lot of time, effort, into our teams and our players, Hell, look at me at fantasy. I want to cry losing to fucking Reflect. I put in so many fucking hours on that fantasy app. Like legitimately, when fantasy started, every day I was on the app probably 4 to 6 hours. You think anyone else, including Reflect, was on there that often? Hell no. I'm the only crazy one sitting on the fantasy app 4 to 6 hours, scouting every fucking player on the wire, including every player on your guys' bench, like a fucking psychopath, but that's what I do, and it takes over my life, But again, like it all depends on what's important to you, But you definitely got lifers that are going to be here, that aren't going to judge. We all go through a lot of depression, anxiety, mental health, and we're going to be here to support and make things better for each other, not make things worse. Life is already hard enough to deal with drivers, people at the grocery store, family members, or friends that end up being assholes to us at one moment or another. It's always nice to be able to have family. We might not be blood, but I'll tell you what, being extended family, you guys are very important to me. More than you guys know. You guys bring a lot of joy into my life, and I hope that I bring some joy for you guys, not just the platform and the thumbnails and the streams and the conversations, but also the conversations people have outside of the streams that I've brought people together in the room, and that makes it special too. I got about 10 of y'all that I keep in touch with, outside of the streams, and all 10 of you guys are fucking rock stars. I mean, that's why we have like our own little VIP room, you know. We make it a little bit more exclusive here.
At least I don't make bundling a home and car insurance easy.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com. Lighting the way for all SUVs.
You're never going to make them happy. It's either fire Schneider, fire Pete, get rid of Gino, get someone new. Oh, we should have drafted Jalen Carter, or no, we shouldn't. You know, grab this guy. Oh, we won. We should have lost. We should have got a draft pick. Oh, we lost. Oh, we should have won. We should have went to the. I mean, you're never going to make them happy. You know, it's like I almost nearly did say hat because I was already thinking Kraken, and I was thinking about how happy I am that you and me are Kraken fans. I had to stop myself right there. You caught it. I was like, hat, Pete, Hawks, Hawks, Hawks. You did. You caught me. See? But at least we got the Kraken, though. So, no, yeah, Rivera's gone. He's fired. Done. Bill Belichick and Eric Bieniemy working together could work, though. Bieniemy calling the plays on offense, Belichick calling the plays on defense. Yep. And if Nwosu was playing, things might have been a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like, you know, injuries, a tough schedule, and it shows you year in and year out, you're going to be different depending on if you have a fourth place schedule or a first place schedule. So, you know, it's like if you have a fourth place schedule and you go like 12-5, yeah, it's a good year, but you had a shitty schedule. You know, if you go 12-5, you know, the next year on a first place schedule, then that says something. But again, if you ever notice, people that have a 12-5 record, doesn't matter if it's a last place schedule or first place, you know, they'll act like it's the biggest thing since sliced bread. You know what I mean? They don't, oh, you had a last place schedule. Doesn't matter, 12-5, you know, everyone will defend. It's just all about wins, you know. And it's kind of crazy, too, because Seahawk fans are so passionate. You wouldn't think the fan base would be toxic, you know. But again, it shows you, like, even like the Ducks or, you know, the Buccaneers, like, they don't really come across as a toxic fan base. But, you know, again, it all depends on what type of fan you are. Like, there's a lot of Duck fans that are on social media that are like, fuck the Huskies. If you root for them, yeah, you're an idiot. You're a traitor. You know, it's like, how can you root for anyone besides the Ducks? You know, it's like, you know, and a lot of younger people have that mentality. You know, even I had that mentality early on when I was younger, but, you know, I started to mature and I started to appreciate the game in general, greatness in general. And thank God I changed, because if I had that same kind of attitude, hell, I wouldn't want to hang out with me, you know, doing streams and being that way. You know, a lot of people are very biased and they try to hide it on social media and hide it on streams. Sometimes it comes out, you know, but you can definitely tell the people that are biased as shit, you know. And it's just, I don't know, it's unappealing when you hang around people that are biased. You know, it's just not my cup of tea, you know. I get it. Everyone is open to their own opinion, but when they just start going off on things where you know that they know is wrong, but they just keep going because that's just what they do, you know. Wow, got him right there. Pow, knocked him down. 14-7 Dolphins. Can you imagine having Josh Allen or Tua in fantasy and all you need is points and you can't get them? 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 1 touchdown, 2 picks for Josh Allen. Oh, yeah, Michigan was the best team pretty much all year, you know, offense and defense. You know, JJ, Blake Corum, offensive line, but specifically that defense, you know, and then you got Jim Harbaugh. You have no weaknesses. You have elite everywhere. Quarterback, O-line, running back. Maybe the wide receivers could be a little bit better in tight end. I would say maybe you could have some bigger names there, you know, like a Maserati Marv on Michigan, you know, type of guy, but or like if they would have had like a Braylon Edwards from back in the day playing now, you know, Braylon Edwards, you know. So your boy knows names. Toby in the building. What's good, bro? Duval, you'll be back, bro. You know, it's, you know, it shows you how important it is to be healthy and you can start off strong and be like, 8-3, and then all of a sudden just go on a big dip and slide. But remember, you were the worst team in the NFL for 2 years. You've come a long way, and the AFC South is going to be a fucking dogfight moving forward. The Titans are at the bottom, but they still are a trap game and a sleeper. And Indianapolis and Houston are looking like they're trying to take over. So for the Jags to be able to keep up, they're going to have to be as healthy as possible. And it just so happens that you guys hit a wall. So, it sucks. You guys should be the team that's there, not the Texans, or it may be two teams, depending on what would have happened. But again, you guys will be back. And I really enjoyed watching Lawrence and Etienne healthy this season, as well as defensive Josh Allen. What a stud. Yeah. But again, Hybrid, if you're a fan of Midwest, East Coast ball, Pac-12 never gets love. So we were the best conference in college football this year. Overall, 8 teams in the top 25. No other conference can say that. The SEC was down this year, and it's nice to be able to see a Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, team in there. And honestly, the 2 teams that are playing are the teams that should be there. I know it's not sexy because it's Washington, or if it was like Oregon, go Buffalo, go baby, go the 50, the 40. He could go all the way. Touchdown, Buffalo. There's that defense, baby. I do need a contract. I need some TV deals. I need some podcast deals. I need a deal with Snapple, a deal with Nike for all the walking that I do. Spending $160 on Vapor Max shoes that are already worn out that I just got a couple months ago because I walk Paisley an hour and a half a day, 7 days a week. I need to contact Nike and be like, I need you to make me the super shoe, the shoe for the person that is going to walk their dog 7 days a week, 365, an hour and a half a day. You need to come out with better bottoms of the shoe to last longer. That's what needs to happen. Sign the O-Dog. Sign the O-Dog for mental health. Sign the O-Dog for Gatorade. Sign the O-Dog for Snapple. Some fucking walking shoes for me and Paisley. Sign O-Dog for Paisley and Petco and PetSmart. Anything to do with pet adoption for cats and dogs. Being able to set up when you end up having a loss where you can end up hooking someone else up, not only with, a hookup to be able to get a new dog or cat to love, but also to be able to have something set up for like food and toys and play areas and all that extra money that it costs when you end up having a dog or a cat, like being able to line that up for someone that is end up, having a loss. And then you can set them up with a new animal, a new family member, and then boom, they don't got to pay for food or toys or anything else for 3 months or 4 months. Something like that to me would be beneficial, Like, I don't even want to think about the day that Paisley's not here, but I know if I had something like that to be able to point me in the right direction, to be able to have that next, dog to love, and I can't even think like that right now because I want to be with her forever, and then also being able to have someone take care of me for 4 months of not having to buy food for $80 a bag and unlimited bones and ropes and balls and play structures if you have a cat, so they can walk around. Like, that would be something that could really help someone's mental health when they're already in a mess. And then at least that for that, 3 or 4 or 5 month period, knowing that you don't got to worry about anything financially and all you have to do is love. See, these are the things and these are the ideas that I come up with that I know that could benefit mankind. You feel me? And I will do something like that. There's always going to be certain things that I'm going to lean towards. Mental health, right? And obviously dogs and cats and the benefits of having those in your life. Those are the 2 most important things to me. O-Dog needs a contract. I mean, I need to get like an Ohtani contract. Like, I always thought, as a little kid that, some people think, if you have dreams and goals, some people, have them, some people don't. But I always thought, like, when I was younger, that I would be a millionaire. Like, I always thought I was a little different. I always thought I was an idea guy, but it's all about, being able to present yourself in front of the right people and having the right people support you and know of you and about you and what you're about. And I feel if you end up being a good person, eventually the right people will find you and the right opportunities will present themselves. So, and it's like, I wouldn't want to be a millionaire to like floss and to be able to like, oh, look at my, Bugatti and all that. It would be like the complete opposite. It would be like opening up a humane place, for dogs like here, and helping people with the adoption process and food and, and mental health, and being able to help people there, or a YouTube studio and helping people's dreams come true here in Oregon. Things that actually can make a difference. You feel me? O-Dog needs all the incentives, all the guaranteed contract, all of the different companies supporting your boy. I mean, I would be someone I think that would be beneficial. There's a lot of dirtbags that are out there that are getting the big dollars, a lot of fakes, a lot of fugazis that put on a face and you think they're a good person, but off screen, off camera, they're really not. They're just good actors or actresses. A lot of them out there. Extra point is up, and it's good. 14-14. We're tied up. What a game. Sign your boy. And it's not about how much money, and how many things you have. It's about how you treat people and how they remember you by. So the more impact that you can have on people's lives is going to be hella more impactful than how many fucking Lambos and Ferraris I end up having before I die. You think anyone's going to give a shit on the 4 Lambos and 3 Ferraris that I have before I die? No. They're going to remember the time that, you gave a Aussie 12 fan a chain when they were here traveling from Australia and ended up giving him a gift. That's the type of shit that fucking matters. Having a bond with Reflect when he ends up being the fantasy king. Am I disappointed that I lost? Yeah. But if the Huskies end up winning, then we can both celebrate. And that's what it's about. So it's all about perspective in life. My life before Paisley wasn't good. My life with Paisley, I have never been happier. Sign your boy to the deal on the dotted line. Your boy could be the next Pat McAfee. It's all about, getting in the right place at the right time. Except I wouldn't be on ESPN and I wouldn't sell at. Or at least I wouldn't try to. Unless it was something that I felt that was legit. Like, Petco, PetSmart, Snapple, like legit stuff that I actually use in my life. That's important to me. Mental health. Like a mental health organization that has like millions of dollars. I'm a mental health advocate. Yeah, and I wouldn't even want necessarily free shoes. I just want to have them make a shoe for a person that walks more than everyone else. I need to have air bubble. I need to have comfort, but I need to be able to have something where it's going to be outdoors in the Oregon weather. Oh, lots of blood on that hand. And I need to be able to have a shoe that's going to be able to last walking an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day. Because that's what your boy does. Your boy is dedicated, committed. Who is more dedicated and committed to Paisley and you guys? Nobody. Who's better than Canyon? Nobody. Or if I can get linked up with like Mitchell and Ness and I can give all the mods like free stuff. Like, oh, you need a Mitchell and Ness jersey for $400? No problem. That's the dreams that I got. That's a shit that I want to do for you guys. I want to dress you guys. So that way you guys have all the fresh gear that you can't afford or that's too rare, or that costs too much money. That's what I want to do. It's like other people get a screen print or nothing. And then you get a nice little Mitchell and Ness. And once you have a Mitchell and Ness, you'll understand. And it's so different, man. Once you have a Mitchell and Ness jersey or a elite sewn jersey, just the way that it feels, like you feel like $1 million. You feel like a fucking rapper. You feel like a fucking millionaire. If you have a screen print on, even if it's nice, it's a jersey. If you have a sewn jersey that's like that 150 to 180, like the one I got on right now, it's not like the on-field version that's $300-400, but it's like close enough. You feel like $1 million in this one too. But then when you do the Mitchell and Ness or the top one, it's like the stitching is better, the material, the cloth is heavier, and you just feel like a rapper. Fourth down and 9, Buffalo waking up. GameStop, yeah. Is that the one about the stock market where they tried to break the stock market, with the people, and they tried to get it into their advantage where they were making all that money? I think I saw a preview for something similar like that when I saw the Dracula movie in the theater. Your boy wants the money, but not because of the fame or to be rich, but to be able to help people, to be able to get people the help that they need, and fucking shit costs money. You need help, Company's got a lot of money. I don't know, man. They be controlling everything. I'm just like a little speck in their universe, trying to make my legacy known, But I do know that, this is something I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And a lot of my friends don't understand. A lot of people are haters, but I couldn't think of, anything else that I would rather do. I worked really, really hard, to get to this point, and it's still nowhere near the finish line. I feel we're just starting out, and I've already been doing this for 12 years, 8 years on YouTube, and I feel like I'm just starting, so it shows you the commitment level, and you guys are the best people that I could ever dreamed of having at this stage of the channel. You guys are awesome. Reflect is no dummy. There's a reason why he won fantasy. If Reflect was dumb, all right, he wouldn't have gotten there, let alone won it. So he's a smart dude. Of course, I got you.
Going against the backup tackle, and Josh Allen's got to try and figure out exactly what all that means.
Hollywood Video, Blockbuster. I think I still have my old Hollywood and Blockbuster cards. I have a Petco one from like the 80s or 90s. Josh Allen, I showed it to a Petco employee, and they were like fucking dumbfounded. They were like, what the fuck? Like, some of these people at Petco have worked there for like, 10, 20, 30 years. So sometimes they'll have like the little keychain ones, like the Blockbuster and Hollywood. They had the mini. They wasn't the big, card. It was like either the card, the big keychain card, or the little one, right? But some of the old stuff, like, when you see people's eyes when they're like, oh, because that no one has pulled one of those out in a long time. We're knotted up at 14, Josh Allen and Tua. I'll be honest, when Josh Allen first came into the league, I really wasn't his biggest fan. I definitely criticized the shit out of him a lot because of the bad throws and the interceptions. And then, I find myself kind of rooting for him now with all the quarterbacks that were injured this season. And, I have kind of a new appreciation for him. I still get upset with his decision-making and his picks, but he's more on my good side now than he was. Like, I feel like I'm always going to like Burrow more than him, but I have a very strong appreciation for what he's doing. And it also shows you, if you have the right offensive coordinator and you get rid of Ken Dorsey and then you have Brady in there, what a magical difference Josh Allen is. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes, having Eric Bieniemy and Nagy. You go from a guy that I love watching to a guy that I can't stand. I can't watch him anymore. I can't even draft you anymore. So sometimes it's not just about the player and how elite they are. Sometimes for them to stay elite, they got to have good Mr. Miyagi's around them. Wax on, wax off, Danielson. You have to have a good coach or an OC. And if the OC leaves and your production goes down, hello, maybe there was something there, right? Instead of acting like Bieniemy didn't matter. Taylor Swift didn't matter. The receivers dropping balls didn't matter. Kadarius Toney didn't matter. Come on. Coaches are just as important as the players. They really are, especially if you're an elite coach or an elite play caller. Floater? Yeah, baby. Shakir. First down, Bills. And like I said, there's certain personalities that I like more than others, but Josh Allen is one of those guys that was like a guy that I thought was top 5, but he was probably my least liked top 5. And then if I was leaning more towards him or Lamar, I was leaning Lamar, pretty much the whole career. But now I'm starting to, be real and be genuine, and we can have a change of an opinion. And I'm starting to gain more positive vibes out of Josh Allen. It's a lot of the offensive line and the defense is injured. They need to be better. But if Josh Allen can get his decision-making and his throws in the fourth quarter under control, and they have a guy like Cook to help him, Josh Allen could be the number one quarterback in the NFL. Prove me wrong, right? So even if you're the biggest Josh Allen hater, if you clean up those mistakes and he has like a 40 touchdown, 6-pick year, he could be NFL MVP and win a Super Bowl. And the narrative can change. So if I can see that, I know you guys can see it as well. And sometimes it's not just Josh Allen. It's the coach could be better. The O-line is injured. The defense sucks. There's a lot of things, but the one thing that has helped is James Cook and also getting rid of Ken Dorsey and bringing in Brady. It's a whole new vibe for this Buffalo Bill roster, which I like. Touchdown, Buffalo. But you see what I'm saying? Where we can be like haters towards a guy, but then our opinion can change over time. And we're human. We can have a vibe and a feeling, Josh Allen, guy's elite, but he just, throws so many picks. Give me Mahomes, give me Burrow, give me Lamar, right? And then you could be like, okay, Buffalo Bill fans are going to be like, he's number one. I don't care. But then everyone else is like, okay, Josh Allen, you're top 3, but sometimes late in the season, you're not even like playing like a top 10. You're like fucking up, You had so many chances for the Super Bowl, couldn't get past, the Chiefs. And finally, the Chiefs are not good, and you still can't do it. But not really Josh Allen's fault. O-line, play caller, Dorsey, defense getting injured, Milano, Tre'Davious White. But I'm starting to feel that, like, as I watch all the quarterbacks go down with injuries, right? And even if you had a bad narrative about Josh Allen like I did, I'm starting to realize that Josh Allen has always been a top 3 talent, whether you've liked him or not. Even when he played bad, you'll take the interceptions that he'll give you because he'll give you touchdowns with his legs and with his arm. And he is a natural born leader, right? And he just needs to get better on the accuracy part, but he's got the arm strength. And I like him a lot. I'm starting to see the vision, of the Buffalo Bills. They're not there yet, but if a few things get cleaned up, we could be saying in 5 years from now or 10 or sooner, Buffalo Bills are the 2026 champions and Josh Allen is MVP. Like, we could be saying that. Like, does anyone think that couldn't happen? We all think it could, right? But it's like piece by piece. So, but I'm starting to appreciate Josh Allen a lot more with all these other quarterbacks being hurt. Mahomes not playing well. Now you have more appreciation for Lamar, and him showing out. Dak, more appreciation for Dak. Maybe this is the year that the Cowboys, make the NFC Championship game. Hell, maybe they go to the Super Bowl and maybe the Niners have an injury or, something happens. Like, maybe the Niners and Cowboys, are going to get there. We already know the Lions are going to make an NFC Championship game in the next 6 years. Is it just going to be this year, or are they going to have to wait till next year or the following year? Because Laporta and the injury and the defense isn't good. It also depends if it's home or away. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes our perspective can change, on certain players and certain teams based off surroundings. Better running back, James Cook. You actually have a 1 now. You never did, but now you do. You don't have Tre'Davious White and Von Miller, and you don't have Milano, and the offensive line stinks, right? And you got rid of Ken Dorsey. And sometimes when you have bad seeds, cancers to a team or non-fits, it makes your elite players look like shit, and no one wants to watch Mahomes and Travis Kelce play like shit, especially me and Reflect, because, we had both of them. I even picked up Kelce for you, I was like, okay, I'm going to put Kelce on my team, I know you probably saw that last move and we're probably shaking your head like, what is he doing? He had Gronk for good luck, for good morale with Brady, I had to pair Mahomes and Kelce together. The frustration is real for both of us this year. But see, these are the type of conversations that you're not going to have on other sports channels. You're not going to have it on the 12s. You're not going to have it on any of the other ones because we think, it's a deeper thought. Everyone else is thinking black and white. Sometimes you got to look in the gray area, not the so obvious storyline. And being able to break down people, and the athletes are people, and also breaking down, a team, a concept. It's not just the quarterback or the head coach. You have to go deeper than that. Depth, backups, coaching, scheme, fit, chemistry, health, being hot at the right time. It's not all about just being the most talented like Tyreek. That's not going to get you a Super Bowl every year. 21-14, Buffalo. But don't you agree, though? Like, Buffalo was terrible to watch, and you were criticizing Josh Allen more. And it's not even being a Bills hater, but just being a Josh Allen supporter. But if you're fucking up, we have to kind of hate on you and be real about it. We can't just keep giving you the benefit of the doubt because you're Josh Allen, and then every time you fuck up in the third and fourth quarter and your team loses and the Bills fans defend you and everyone else in the media defends you, and then we're just supposed to be like, you just threw 4 picks and you did triple coverage and you lost the game, and I'm still supposed to say Josh Allen is top 2, top 3. Like, it's okay for us to be like, sometimes he plays like top 10 or top 5 or top 8 and he underwhelms. But with James Cook and with Brady there at OC, it's like, I can root for you now. Like, I am rooting for you now. Like, now you're the underdog and I'm rooting for you. Like the Rams are like the underdog, right? Sean McVay, and they're going to be a team that people will root for, even if they think that they're not good. They're hot. But I think more people can probably root for Buffalo, because obviously if the Rams are going to go against Detroit's story is so cool that it's like the Rams are like the underdog cool story, but it's not a cooler story than, what they got going cooking there in Detroit. That story is one of the best stories in football this year. So the Rams thing is like a cool thing. But I would have rather seen the Seahawks make it rather than the Rams. But the Rams-Lions storyline, it's like almost scripted, passing complete. Like, what would have been better? Jared Goff playing against his former team, or Sean McVay trying to knock out the Lions, saying, you're the third best team. I'm the supposed worst team, but I'm hot, and I'm confident in my play calling that I'm the hottest team. I don't got a good roster, but I'm going to show you with my shit roster and my young players, I can beat a top 3 team in the Detroit Lions. And that's what McVay is going to try to prove to everyone, that he is one of the best coaches in the league. Like I've been saying all these years, like I feel that he is the most intelligent coach besides, Kyle Shanahan, that's running things, as far as scheme and play calling. No 2 guys are better than those 2, and imagine if the Rams do win, how big of a win that would be. It would be crushing for the Lions. And as far as, because the NFL wants the Cowboys and the Lions and the Niners to go as far as they can. And they're going to want, on the AFC side, the Ravens to go as far as they can and not to lose to the Browns, because they're going to want money and they're going to want ratings. So if they're going to get ratings, you can get ratings with Buffalo. You can get ratings with the Chiefs, Ravens, but there's going to be certain teams that ratings, not so much. Cleveland Browns, cool story, Joe Flacco, but America is not going to want to see Cleveland Browns versus the San Francisco 49ers. They want to see the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. Unless you're a Cowboy fan, then you want to get in there, or a Lion. Little check down. But, I don't know. It's like, I feel like with the Cowboys, it's like you might have to crawl before you walk, and maybe you win a playoff game or 2, but maybe you don't get to the NFC Championship game, or maybe you don't get to the Super Bowl. Maybe you do, But again, the NFC is kind of weak right now, so it's like the Niners are even a little bit vulnerable, and you can't predict injuries. And if Brock Purdy goes down, anybody can win. Hell, the Rams could end up playing them and beating them. And you never know. I mean, obviously the Niners aren't going to want to face them. It's like, because they're in the division. So it's like, oh, Niners, Rams. Niners win easily. Do they? Because if you play a team twice a year and you got a brilliant coach like McVay, that could be a team that actually upsets the Niners. Like, there's not very many teams that probably could, but I know if I'm the Niners, I don't want to fucking see the Rams. I would rather see the Lions or the Cowboys or anybody but the Rams. And that's the, mindset. So.
Vic Fangio is trying to stop Josh Allen. He talked about it earlier this week in a colorful way.
But do you see, like, some people recognize these things and some people don't? It all depends on, are you watching football all year? Are you just, sporadically watching, or are you watching the development, the progression or regression of a player or a team? Sometimes a team starts off slow, but then gets, better. It's like, oh, this team sucks. I can't root for you. And then in the last month, with all the other quarterback injuries, like I think a lot of America, including myself, is rooting for Josh Allen. Miami's too up and down, their O-line and their defense. So you already know you can believe in Josh Allen. He's got the experience. And even though that the O-line and the defense are some dog shit, they're kind of playing good right now, just like the Rams. And maybe the Bills make it to the AFC Championship game. And maybe the Bills could be a team that could possibly beat the Ravens, like Cleveland. The way that they're playing lately would say yes. But early in the year with Dorsey and not running Cook heavy, no way in hell. We wouldn't even say the Bills were making the playoffs. They look like shit. They look like they were going to be a top 15 pick. So it really does show, if you can get better pieces around elite players and elite coaches, you can really, go further, or you can go backwards and almost look unrecognizable to your fan base and to us. Oh, he's hitting him with the Will Ferrell and the Drake. Hands on the hips. Yeah. But you know what it is? It's Sean McVay. Because Sean McVay essentially is the one that fired Maher, is the reason why Kyren got the ball as much as he did, right? And also Puka getting the targets that he got. He decided if he wanted Tutu Atwell to be the guy, then, Tutu would have been getting the looks. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one that's controlling it. You know what I mean? Like, you're giving looks, you know what I mean? You say, well, let's get the football here. You know what I mean? And if you can recognize what you have and you're the one that's orchestrating it, it's not like, oh, let's just call this play and Stafford, you throw to whoever's open. Sometimes that's going to be the play call. But a lot of times when you have a hands-on coach like Shanahan or McVay, they're telling you where to go because they already have wrote out the play. It's got 30 words. There's 3 audibles on it. And he knows if you get the ball there, right, you know what you're going to get. So I think a lot of the Kyren and the Puka success is directly related to not just the players, but to Sean McVay. I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs. Hell, Puka and Kyren won people fantasy championships, just like Reflect. And that's a message to Sarah. Never let go of a player that's putting up 20 to 30 points. If they're injured, you throw them on the bench. If it's a month or two, who cares? You put them on the bench. You put them on IR. You never release a guy like that. And you release it out into the wild, and Reflect scooped it, and he literally beat me in the championship because of that one player. If that would have been on your team, on your bench, maybe I win. Maybe Reflect gets there. Maybe Fo King gets there. And Reflect would agree with that because we understand the impact of pieces that are not, they're so impactful that if you have them, you know what you have. You have a guy that's going to put up 30, 40 points. And then when you know that a lot of guys can't do that, and then all the quarterbacks are getting hurt, and there's not a lot of guys that are producing big numbers, and then all of a sudden you got a guy that's throwing up 30 casually, right? And then your RB1 is matched with an RB2 and an RB3, and literally with your 3 running backs, you're hitting 100 points. I mean, that's got to feel good. So, rule of the thumb, you got a Kyren, you never let a guy like that go. And you would have finished higher in the rankings if you would have hung on to him. But again, maybe you thought he was never going to be the player that he was when he got hurt. But anytime you get a guy that throws up 20s or 30s, that shit ain't by mistake. He did it because he was amazing. So everyone makes mistakes. We all do it. I let go of Ramondre Stevenson too early. I let go of CJ Stroud. I let go of Brown's defense. I let go of many, many things that I should have kept, but I'm always rotating my roster. I fucked up a lot, and that's a part of life. You fuck up. You fuck up and you learn. You can't trust the Buccaneers. They fucked up. Never can trust them ever again. I can't trust Patrick Mahomes. You live and you learn. And then you find out that Finley and Reflect are fantasy gods, and then you're just proud that we're all together, with greatness with each other, And the rule of thumb still stays true unless I end up winning a fantasy championship going wide receiver heavy. Going with running backs is so crucial that me and Reflect are going to have 8 each, and everyone else will have RB2s and 3s, and we'll cry. Because if you have good running backs and you have depth, you run the league. But it also depends on the ones that you have. You have to be smart enough to be able to not get into name bias and just grab guys like Kyron Williams and believe that they are going to be a star. Yes, there's other guys that are out there, but sometimes you have to have that early hunch. You watch the games, you see it, you project it. Ooh, 20. Ooh, 17. Maybe the next one will be 30. Then it happens, and then you got yourself a fantasy superstar, a fantasy winner in a player like that. But Puka and Kyron, or you could argue, are the two most valuable pieces, and both on the Rams. Who would have thought? Reflected. Yeah, and it's crazy because Reflect, Sarah, what happened this year is not who she is. Like I said, normally it's me and her in like first and second. It's like the first time that injuries, like I said, when I went 13-1, I think she went 12-2 or 11-3 the year before. So it's like, every once in a while, like if you don't work the wire in the first 3 weeks and you have bad injuries that are season ending, there's almost like no recovering from it. Now, if there were like dummies in the league and like me and Reflect and a few others weren't in there, then you would have been able to rebound. You would have been able to manufacture your roster. You wouldn't have O-Dog waking up at, 2:30 in the morning when everyone's sleeping, grabbing all the leftovers on the wire every week. You would have been able to like wake up at a normal time as a human, have your energy drink or a coffee, casually open up your phone on the app or on your work computer, look to see these amazing pieces that are still available, and then making appropriate changes. But when you're in a league with a bunch of psychopaths, including me, there's nothing. I mean, there's going to be something left, but it ain't going to be what you want. I'm going to definitely be scooping up a lot of good shit. First down, Bills. Might be a hold. Oh, you hoarded the shit out of them. But then I started to get some of the ones that you had, and essentially your roster and my roster is kind of a blend of each other, because both of our rosters had a lot of those players back and forth. So what you had on your bench, I kind of had on my bench. Like we, at one point or another, it's like I had Singletary, I had Connor, you had them, I had them. You have a player, you drop them. I have a player, I have to drop them, not because they suck, because I have to make room for something else. But the two ways that we play differently is that you have one quarterback, right? One defense, one kicker, and that's how you play. For me, I'll do 2 or 3 quarterbacks, 2 or 3 defenses, 2 kickers if needed, but you don't go that route. And that's the difference between how you play and how I play, right? And that's cool because we're still elite, but you have your strategy, I have mine. But again, most people don't listen or recognize those things. But if you pay attention to detail, I do, you do, so we know each other. But if you're not paying attention in the league, then you don't know those things. So it's like also being able to block and, pick up a player that you don't need, that the other person needs, but they're on your bench. You're happy that you have them, but you're not going to use them. You're just pretty much blocking, and then insurance, just in case someone gets hurt. Yeah, I got this guy. He's pretty good. But the other guy, he needed a running back, but I got him. I got the best one on the wire. Sorry. Now you got to win with the other guy. So.
He did not have a good first half, right? He did not have a good first half. I harken back to one Brett Favre, and I think I've got these numbers right. In a playoff game one time.
Right. And again, and then with early, like Rashad White and even though he ended up being top 5 fantasy, and like Montgomery in the beginning was good because he was getting all the looks, but then it went to Gibbs. And then he was really a true RB2 when I was only getting 10 to 15 points. And sometimes in fantasy with your running backs, you need more than that. You want to hit 16 to 30. But when you get RB2 status, even if 10 to 18 carries, you are only going to max out at 10 to 15 points. Gibbs is there. That's what it is. So you either get the guaranteed points and feel safe, or you make a change and you go with someone that maybe has Connor stats where you're getting 7 or 8, but when he booms, he gets 20. So you have to make a choice. Do you want reliable, or do you want to take chances? And then that's where fantasy will get you. How many chances do you take? And do you go with reliable and trustworthy, or are you willing to take a risk? Take a risk and laugh. Yeah, but I you know my shit. I know your shit. Well, the thing is with me in a league and you in the league, we'll play each other on a different level. Like, normally when we play anyone else, we can just play however the hell we want, but It's like if we're going to match up, things are going to go on a deeper strategy level. It's like you're going to play, checkers with everyone else. But if we're matching up, there's like some chess. Like maybe I look ahead and see where you're at and who you have on a bye. How do I play you this week? And it's bittersweet because I beat you twice in the regular season. And just like in the NFL, it is very hard to beat someone 3 times in a row. So you ended up getting me when it counted, just like the Buccaneers and the Saints. I lost twice in the regular season to Drew Brees, but I got you in the playoffs, and then I ended up winning a Super Bowl. So reflect, and, he got his Super Bowl. And we got to get you a natty tomorrow. Same thing with Finley. We got to get that Husky natty. 21-14. Natty by nature. Natty. WWE. Need it. Studs. Maybe DeBoa goes on my thumbnail with Penix Jr. tomorrow. Maybe it'll be my background for the show. Maybe I'll have a player and a coach on the thumb. Maybe I'll save it for the background. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It all depends on what images I can bring over and how big they are and how it looks. And plus, you got to think like, it's like not like, trying to like toot the horns, but imagine trying to get to the championship or finish in the top 3 and you're number 10 in priority every week, except for maybe like 1 week. If it so happens that, you don't make a move because you have to keep everyone, which I had like 1 week of that this season, but most of the time I'm 10th on priority. Yes, I'm making the most moves, but after the wire ends, but I feel I have to beat, I have to grab my players that way because I'm never going to be able to get to the top. I'm never going to have first priority to get that Kyron Williams. That never happens to me. I have to find other ways to win. So to finish 10th on the wire all year and then to make it to championships almost every year, I think that shows a lot of skill too, but, I'm making a lot of moves. So it's about the knowledge and the moves. And then obviously you can pick up some stuff. I can pick up some stuff off of you. And yeah, man, you did it, dude. It's awesome. But it'll be even more awesome if we get this natty tomorrow because then I can appreciate it. Natty. Michael Penix Jr. Stud. Lefty. Stud. O-Dog. Prediction. Championship. Go Ducks. Go Huskies. I'm so excited for tomorrow. This actually might be the most excited I have been for a natty besides Oregon and Auburn. This is like the most excitement I've had. And it's just cool too because it's like I've been on this Michael Penix Jr. thing for a long time, so it's not like brand new. Like everyone else is now figuring out what Washington fans and what I knew all along, but even I felt that I saw kind of the future even before others too. Like, when the playoffs started, Penix Jr. was going to end up being the most, standout player out of the 4 teams, and he's going to continue to be that player too. Oh, no one's counting out Michigan. Are you kidding? They're the favorite. I'm just trying to get the positive juju in the air because there's already 98% of the country is Michigan. You think I don't know that? They got the offense, they got the defense, they got Blake Corum, they got McCarthy, who's not great, but he's definitely above average. And he's not on the same level as Penix Jr., though. And got Harbaugh. So Michigan is 98% of people. The only people that think that they have a chance are people that evaluate, talent and know Michael Penix Jr., Husky fans, or Pac-12 fans that are rooting, on that level, or people that have actually watched Husky football and realize that they're undefeated. They don't have 3 losses right now. And yes, Michigan is good, but the Huskies have the better quarterback. And if you have the better quarterback, you might be able to outscore them, even if they have that elite defense. It's like, yeah, the defense will stuff them, but who do you trust on a big throw down the field, Michael Penix Jr. or McCarthy? No one on planet Earth, even Michigan fans, think McCarthy is better than Penix Jr. I don't trust McCarthy with anything besides fumbling the football or fucking up. 4th and 1. I mean, if it ends up being a battle up front on the line of scrimmage and Michigan wins, then Michigan is going to win, and they could win big by 10 or more. But if Washington fights, right, Pac-12, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to win it all. And that O-line and D-line give like the best effort all season, and Michigan still dominates, but Washington holds their own, then Washington's going to win. Like I said, they just need to be able to like get a couple sack lunches, get a couple picks, get some pressure, and then they got to protect Penix Jr. That's the number one priority. That D-line and that defense for Michigan, number one, going against that Washington O-line. And if that Washington O-line can win the battle, they're going to win the Natty. 100%. That O-line is the key. Stopped them. Shep. It's all good, brother. I saw your little food, and I did a little emoji. How are you doing, bro? It's like some kind of like hibachi place. We missed you, bro. How are you? Hope you're doing okay. Hope your mental health is okay. And yeah, you can message me anytime. And here we go. 21-14. Let's get to OT, baby. Tua, baby. Tyreek. Before a Tyreek catch. After a Tyreek catch. Before Shep came in the room. After Shep came in the room. My boy. What's good, bro? We missed you. Mexican restaurant. Oh, I didn't see all of them. I must the next video must have had like the did they have like the people singing like in front of you? I'll have to look in there. Sound, because it looked like a place where you would actually have people singing in there, like the mariachi guys, and they'd be going all ham and everything and being all amazing. Imagine that food was good. I haven't had like really restaurant food or fast food or anything in a long time. Oh, what happened to my hands, Tyreek? Pass interference, defense. Hell yeah, bro. All the singing. That Bajan run that I messaged you. Bajan! And that fucking exclamation point. I mean, I had to. And then your coach, went up to Dennis Allen. He's like, that's fucking bullshit. You're running up the skull. Right? I thought they were going to throw Don. But I really wish the Falcons or the Saints would have made the playoffs, dude. We are the worst team in the playoffs for 2 years in a row. It's like, ooh, look at me, NFC South champs 3 years in a row. But the last 2 years were like dog shit. It's like we're just crawling in. And I know some teams, like probably the Hawks fans, would love to crawl in, but I don't know, man. Like sometimes not making it is better because you get a higher draft pick. And then you just got to hope that if they do that, that they hit the draft pick. Or you use your weapons properly, like Bajan. Like, what the fuck was that this year, bro? It's like you got this like guy that could have been rookie of the year, like Laporta at tight end. Bajan could have been like the next big thing in the NFL, like the next like freakish Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson freak. And instead of it talking about Bajan every week, he's just sitting there, fucking getting like 5 carries for 8 yards, some bullshit. Like, the guy could be a superstar. The fuck is going on there in Atlanta? Intercepted. Tua, inconsistent. Goats in the room. Oh, yeah. Oh, Harry the Husky. Nice. That's cool.
Secure to his chest. Chase Claypool was the receiver over in that direction in because Tyreek Hill was on the sideline.
veteran who played with the Rams. Close to his life on the field after the Super Bowl victory, Super Bowl 56.
And then what did you want me to be able to pull up for you before so I don't have to scroll all the way up? I always try to multitask with many, many things. Harry the Husky. I like it. The Bills are a whole new team. You know, who would have thought? You know, it's like they look like shit. They look like shit. They look like shit. Defense is injured. They're still injured, right? But the vibe is different. Dorsey and that shit play calling is out of here. Brady is opening it up more. Cook is getting the football, and you're noticing like an RB1 where Dorsey made him look like an RB2, like all the rest. And then once you give a guy like that the football that has RB1 talent, then you see a shift in the chemistry and the like. I still think the Josh Allen Diggs thing is broken. Like that isn't on point yet. You know, where they had that same chemistry when they were playing the Chiefs, but now it's more Cook, and it's actually better that way. You want to be able to spread it around. I mean, it's not good for Diggs, but for like Gabe Davis, if he's healthy, and Knox and Kincaid and Cook, they're spreading it around more. So it definitely affects Diggs' fantasy value and him as a man and a player. He's mad that he doesn't get the same, you know, fucking 15 looks every game and spread out more. You're not the focal point anymore, right? And so he's mad, but the team is actually better now that they're spreading it out to more talent. Sarah's like, it sucks for my fantasy because I have Diggs. That's what she's thinking in her head. Final score 21-14 Buffalo. It was a great Mexican restaurant with a great Texas margarita. What was in the margarita? Just like one of those like crazy ass ones where it's like 10 drinks in one. You're like, you can have one drink and it's like the biggest glass you've ever seen. Like those people on the internet that make those photos. Some hack. Sure. Good thing my Kraken stuff didn't get deleted. You know what's not good though? When you click on a button and you like delete like 3,000 things on accident. Oh no, 3,000. Well, can't go back. I like somehow dragged a file into the trash and then deleted it and then realized that it was the file that had everything in it, like into one file instead of like the other files that were littler like next to it. And then all of a sudden it grabbed it all and I was like, oh no, how did I do that? But I'm not excited about the Buccaneers and whatnot, and you got the Seahawks stuff, but at least we got the Kraken, and it's going to be really exciting, and I'm going to be doing a lot of Kraken stuff. So I'm doing that over the NBA. Oh, white in the background. Come on, Bowie. We can't have that. There we go. There we go. Yeah. 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 Got you. Well, I gotta delete some of these other ones. I gotta delete some of these. They say you got too many. Sucker. All right, hold up. Boom, shakalaka. He said, look at me. Where's that guy? Oh, dog. I like him. He's good. He likes mental health. And he loves the Kraken. If I had the ability to time travel and go back to this game and watch it, I would. It's like the one event that if I could go and like be there, this would have been it. This would be my number one choice out of all the events. Like in the last few years, this would be number one. That's saying something. Love me, the Kraken. It's exciting. More exciting than the Blazers. I like the coach. I like the roster. I like that we have goalie play. Goalie's my favorite position. I always will be hard on the players, but I always will be fair. And we're on a nice little heater now. He said a Texas strawberry margarita to be exact. I imagine it was delicious. And it probably had some tequila in it or something. I've been pretty good. My mental health has been pretty good. I hope your mental health has been pretty good. I know they were not appreciating you at work, and they're underpaying you and taking money away and probably being haters and having bad employees, not show up or do their job, and then make you feel like this, and then you end up drinking too much and then being stressed out, and then come here and feel a little bit better. And then we give mental health the boot, right? And then, you try to get away from this, and it'll be more of this. And then you hang out with your boy. Improve the mental health. And then there we go. Yeah, I loved it. Like I said, to me, to be able to go there outside and if I was able to stay the night there, I would have scooped up a hoodie if I had the money. Hoodie, fucking jersey, beanie, t-shirt, ceremonial, replica puck, everything for that event. That event is gonna be something that's gonna be remembered, and as the years pass, that jersey is still gonna hold up to a lot of the other throwbacks and other Winter Classic, and also just in general. Cool looks are eternal. I'm jealous of anyone that went. Like I said, I would rather have gone to that event than if Super Bowl, Natty, Blazer game, that event, to be there outside and to be in that vibe would have been incredible. Because when's the next time that's going to happen? 20 years from now? 10? It's going to be probably a while. Oh, good. Sometimes you got to center yourself, bro. And it's always good to come here because I can always give you recommendations for shows or movies and stuff, and you can do the same. Gordon Ramsay, Next Level Chef in 3 weeks, is going to be awesome. So I'd highly recommend that. That'll help your mental health a lot. I don't know what shows that you're watching, but I restarted Superstore on Peacock, and insane comedy. It was, if you so many funny moments, and it's kind of like a Walmart, Costco, but it's the employees, and it's funny, and everyone is funny in that show. Is great. So if you want to laugh, I recommend that. And I'll probably do that first, and then go back and watch New Girl from the beginning. And New Girl in the first couple seasons was amazing. Lots of good jokes and funny episodes. Sometimes you can. And then I'm also doing what else am I doing? I'm doing the Western. I'm doing that, and I got a few others. I'm just trying to be able to, get caught up on as many things as I can. Yeah. Love you, brother. My boy. Thank you. You're awesome. You're awesome. Mental health, important, you know. We go through the ups and we go through the downs. That's why I feel like, you know, you can go through so many challenges through the day. Like if this is something that's supposed to be fun and like, you know, vibing and relaxing, you want to be able to keep that vibe, you know, as much as you can, you know, like as you get older and once you get past 30, you start to understand the preciousness of like vibe and your mental health, that you're not going to put yourself in a position for drama, you know, because you know if you do this certain thing, if you go out and you spend money or you go to this bar, chances are there is going to be something, you know, and if you know that, then, you know, we got a very special group here. Volunteering at the church. Buffalo Bills went from not really liked, right? And then to playing like dog shit, and firing some guys, then getting James Cook the ball and letting everyone know that he's an RB1 and the best running back they've had since Thurman Thomas. Ken Dorsey, see you later, right? Brady, you're doing a good job. Defense still fucking injured. And now, even with the injuries, with those subtle moves, but they weren't subtle, now Buffalo looks like they are a team that could fuck shit up. Buffalo Bills, I wouldn't want to play them. Can you beat them? Of course. But when a team is hot, it's not about being the best. Ravens, sometimes it's about being hot and healthy. The Bills aren't healthy, but they are hot. And there's not very many players that I feel that you could trust over Josh Allen in the playoffs. Like the way that the playoffs are breaking down, Allen might play better than Lamar. Like we'll have to wait and see. You know, because a lot of times, like Lamar will play great in the regular season, and sometimes he plays good in the playoffs, and sometimes, you know, not as good as we want. And sometimes they lose. So it'll be very interesting to see if Lamar can actually put up huge numbers and get to the Super Bowl, because we haven't seen it yet. But I think that it could happen. I mean, if it were to happen, this is the year, right? You know, Mr. Payton. What do you want to see for a photo, Shep? I got to go walk my dog and eat dinner, but it's good that you're in the room so I can hang out here for a few minutes, and then let's throw up some photos. Okay? Let's throw them up. Life's a garden, dig it. And then we got the Natty tomorrow. Huskies, Michigan. Let's go. And if we're going to do Taylor Swift for Matt, right, if we're going to do that, I choose the photos, because long hair, you know, sometimes don't care. Short hair don't care. But longer hair for Taylor Swift looks better. So the throwback photos is what you get from me. All right, Megan. Take it easy. Keep your head up. We still got the Kraken. And then hopefully we can end up doing that here in a couple days. Make sure Matt doesn't have a mental breakdown. But see, if you want that new stuff, you know, you can get the newer stuff. But if you're talking about OG classic, okay. All right, you get one more. None of that new though. Only that old school. Matt is like, I'm in love. He said, hello. He says, I'm good. All right, now he's good. He good. Take care of this. You only got one. Bing bong. I reflect. Appreciate you. Congratulations, champ. Shepard Williams, champ. Reflect, champ. Bye-bye, Megan, champ. Everyone's a champ. Great job, champ. Hey, tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My favorite quarterback in college football. Every 5 to 10 years, I'll have one. It started off with Michael Vick. Then it went to Johnny Football. And now Michael Penix Jr. He is the third of the trifecta. Let's go. Taylor Swift approved. Lasagna approved. It's fucking bomb right there. That looks good. Your boy's good with the photos. Man, I can only imagine what it, like. I can imagine what it tastes like, kinda. You know, you can visualize it. Bing bong. Yeah, I think at any point when you know you're going to have like the dough and then the cheese, and if there's sauce, like, you know, who cares? You want some vegetables in there? Like, you, as long as you know you're going to get a good bite and you're going to get flavor, and you're going to go to Flavor Town, and each bite might be a little different, but you're going to get the same kind of 2 or 3 bites of this flavor, that flavor, depending on how big of a, you know, where your fork goes in there, you know? No, I feel you though. I'm hitting you with the 10 out of 10s. You ask and you shall receive. He's like, I want some of this. Show me this. I will. How about this? So you've been gone too long, bro. Your mental health needed a boost. He said, give me some of that vegetable. See? The boy is an expert on them damn internets, you feel me? Bing bong. Bing bong. And each one is a vibe. Like this one, you know, like might be like out of the oven, and this is just like at the crib or at your friend's house. Like, you know, you're just like, okay, This looks pretty good. This one got more like restaurant vibes, where you got like the cheese and then the little, the sauce and everything. It's like, that vibe, right? So home vibe, right? Home, but good, right? Homemade, but good. Maybe Stouffer's. This is like restaurant vibe, right? Different, more high end. And then this is like, it's like when you get a specialty pizza and you get white sauce pizza instead of red, and you're like doing something kind of fancy, that's like this. The corner has the crispy part. So some people like it and some people eat it. Some people avoid it. So for me, I don't care, on brownies or lasagna. If you want to give me the end, fine. But I would prefer middle, but if I end up getting a corner, it's not like I'm not going to eat it, I think most people like middle because they don't want a piece that's interfered with, that doesn't have any like crispiness to the crust. You want it to be like the whole piece is like 100. There's no flaws on it. But if you get a corner piece, one corner of the 4 is going to be fucked up, or it might not taste as good, or you might not want to eat that part. So I think that's why people avoid the corners, because if it tasted the same, people would be like, yeah, corner piece, right? But then everyone's like, I want the middle piece. Boom. Boom. Tomorrow, legacies are made. Natty. I gotta go take Paisley for a walk. And I gotta go eat. But you're starting to see a phenom in the making. And he has been. Season-ending injuries, finding a way. Michael Penix Jr. Anything else that you guys want to see? Yeah. When's the next time you're going to be able to hang out on the stream, bro? It's like, obviously, I don't like keeping Paisley. Like, I'm going to be live for the Natty tomorrow, starting at probably like 4:30, something like that. It'll probably be from like 4:30 to 8:30, but I want to be able to, talk to you more and get you some more photos, regardless if you don't know or not, don't matter. And then, if you need to talk to me like on socials or whatever, like Instagram or something, you can shoot me a message. So. Well, you want Sam Laporta? You don't want Sam Laporta. You want Swift Taylor.
Said about who won, who lost.
He's like, I'm good, bitch. I'm gonna be the number 1 tight end in the NFL, sucker. And I'm gonna compete with all the others to be one of the top 3 in the NFL moving forward. You got Kittle, you got Andrews, you got Kelsey, but they're getting old now. Number 1 in his rookie season, probably the guy that should win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, number 1 in fantasy at tight end as a rookie. Kind of good. Bright future. Good offense to be in, too. Oh, yeah, I'm sure, bro. I'm always sure. Yeah. But Justin Fields isn't going to get you to a Super Bowl, but Justin Fields would be able to put butts in the seats and make Falcons games fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like, He'll be able to maybe get you to the playoffs, but I don't know like how far you're going to. It'll be more for show rather than like longevity. But if you're just wanting to correct the problem soon, then, you know, there probably is a quarterback in the draft this year or next year that would be better. And also, you don't want to have to pay him 30, 40 million a year. You would rather get a rookie if you think about it that way. You know, once you have a guy that ends, you know, he's going to want 30, 40 million. Would you want to pay Justin Fields 30, 40 million? And the answer is fuck no. That's why the Bears are going to move on, because if you don't feel you can win a Super Bowl, but we kind of like you. We kind of like Justin Fields, right? Like most of us kind of like him. But it's like we feel that you're good, but you're not good all the time. So we feel that like you put on like some Showtime games where you're like, holy shit, I like this player. But then there's other games where you just disappear or you play bad. And that's the problem. So, I mean, I might not be the biggest believer in Caleb Williams, but if you're going to go Caleb Williams talent and Caleb Williams money compared to, you know, paying someone like this 30 to 40 million, what would be the smart thing to do? Not pay 30, 40 million for this. You know, if you were paying something like this 10 to 20, 10 to 12, you know, but not 30 to 40 million. That's where it comes down to being like a business, you know. It's like, I kind of like you and you might be worth 30 to 40 million, but I need to see more consistency before we just give you 30 to 40 million. Like, you know, like you're giving blind money where you might not be able to cash that check, like ever. And you're just going to pay the guy. There's a lot of things that need to improve for Chicago, though. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Agreed. Felicia. I agree. There's a lot of shit that you need. Dude, like seriously, dude, to have the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end combo, offensive line actually being like one of the top 7, having 2 offensive linemen that are highly rated, right? Defense needs a lot of work. Play calling needs a lot of work, of course. But like, how the hell do you got Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan? Quarterback needs to be better, but how do you have those 3 and you don't use them right? You know, dumb. You know, but again, obviously you can recognize dumb and you need better. It's like, how do you have superstar talent that could win Rookie of the Year and you're like making them look like not important? You're making Kyle Pitts look like a wasted pick. Like, top 5 pick, could have got him in the 6th round. Like, that's how you're treating him, you know? It's like, but the Bijan shit is like crazy to me. Like, Bijan could have been Rookie of the Year on offense. Guy could have had like 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. And we're like, oh, Bijan Robinson. And then, you know. Paisley waiting on me now. Now she's in here. She's like, Dad. It's like, oh, shit. You're going to be here tomorrow, Shep? Hang out with me for the Natty, bro. You got the day off? Hang out, watch the Natty, bro. It's going to be fun. I'll put up all kinds of college football photos, too. I'll do Bama, Georgia, Oregon, throwback photos of, like, all the old school players, players that are playing. Like, I'm going to do all kinds of shit, so it'll be fun, dude. The thumbnail will probably take me an hour or 2, so that'll take some time, but 4:30, 5 o'clock coverage. So yeah, Bowers, it looks like amazing. Yeah. Looks like he could be he could have like a Laporta kind of impact in his first year, or a second year, like that type of player, like good enough to be a top 5 tight end right away if on the right team and you gave him looks. But if you only give Brock Bowers 4 targets a game, it's never going to happen. But if you give Brock Bowers 10 or 12 targets a game, yeah, then you're going to have something. So I agree. Well, guess what? You guys are the best. I love you and I appreciate you. Shout out to Reflect with the big $100 dono to save the stream. He is the fantasy champion. Shout out to Chef coming in late. Sarah doing the best mod work. Matt being the backup mod and, holding it down. And for everyone watching on Twitter/X, appreciate you. And all the goats, Sarah, Matt, Chef, everyone else, appreciate everyone. And obviously Megan left Reflect. And you guys are awesome. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Hang out with me tomorrow for the fucking natty, right? It'll be awesome. And I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatic. Lasagna. Oh, yeah. And I'm out. Gang.